You're listening to the Rebel Nation.
Streaming to the world with two different perspectives.
Join Gunny, Rebel, and their guest on X, Rumble, and for those on the go, Station Head.
Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern.
What up, everybody? How y'all doing?
Holy fuck! You got me. I was waiting for the whole intro and everything.
Oh, it's already got through. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Wednesday. Why did I say Trending Tuesdays? Oh my god, I'm so stupid. Today's not Tuesday. Oh well.
How do I use a faster setting preset?
You can click on the. Should be a setting wheel for your camera on the studio. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? We are live on Twitter, Rumble, YouTube for a little bit. We'll be on live on YouTube for a little bit. I don't know why it says Trending Tuesdays, because I'm stupid and thought today was Tuesday. It's actually Wednesday. Trying to get this changed. I can't change it on X. It says you're good on this end.
Yeah, I'm just changing.
You're still like choppy.
What do you mean chop? Like, yeah, like I look all fucking.
Yeah, you get your camera up way too high somehow.
No, it's on the lowest setting.
Maybe you're.
I think it's at my output, my hardware. I'm gonna go to software. Anyway, we can still do this.
We got Max Headroom here tonight with us, ladies and gentlemen. He's aged a little bit.
Is it that bad?
Yeah, you're pretty robotic.
That's so fucking dumb. I don't know even what happened. All of a sudden, this thing started asking me to fucking log back in. Anyway, I think that. Hold on a minute here. I got an idea.
Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. We're getting there. Anyways, while he's figuring that out, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Wednesday. I know it says Trending Tuesday because I'm retarded and I accidentally put Tuesday in the title instead of Wednesday. But it is Wednesday, August 7th. Can you believe that? It's already halfway. The year's almost up. I cannot fucking believe that shit. It's craziness. But anyways, how y'all doing? How's everybody? What's up, Gun? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I had a good day at work. Got compliments.
Oh, work. I don't know what that is right now.
I don't know what I can say about my computer right now, but it is what it is.
Is your game still running? Oh no, you're on Xbox anyways.
Yeah. It's just saying encoding overloaded. Consider turning down video settings or using a faster encoding preset.
Oh, that's because you're using virtual camera. I forgot. Yeah, it's probably OBS. It's probably screwing up.
So okay, so if I turn off my main camera in my OBS, that should take care of that, right? So if
it might just be something wrong with OBS. Because I mean, signal strength, you're okay on this end.
Yeah. It's getting a little bit better. Yeah, it's getting a little bit better.
But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we got Max Headroom. He's come out of retirement. He just forgot to shave and grew his hair long. But
I haven't heard that fucking name in such a long time. Holy shit, Max Headroom.
Does anybody in here in chat know who Max Headroom is? He was really, really popular back in the 80s, the late 80s. made his debut on MTV. Back when MTV was MTV. We got a lot to unravel tonight. Probably won't get through it all, but it's been a crazy. Yesterday was crazy, but today's been a little bit crazier. I don't know why. I mean, the stocks are starting to come back up, but they're probably going to rebound. I know, talking about stocks, I seen something on TikTok again. I like this dude because he's really interesting.
Okay, what do you mean by Google is a monopoly? Like, when did people not realize that Google was a monopoly?
Well, they always did. The courts finally sit there and said that they were.
So, what did they rule though? That they have to split up the business?
I don't know. They got to go through. They got to go into a hearing.
Oh.
They've been charged with violating the Sherman Act, which is an antitrust lawsuit. They had U.S. judges ruled on Google violated antitrust lawsuit, maintaining an illegal monopoly in the search market. And that's what everybody was talking about. Like Tim Pool's been talking about it. Crowder's been talking about it. A few others have been talking about it. Because I even noticed the other day, the other night when we went live on YouTube, I couldn't find my live channel on my own YouTube channel. I literally had to use the link that is provided to me by my studio in order to find it on my page. I couldn't find it anywhere on my page. And I'm not nowhere big. So that just goes to show that the algorithm is attacking everybody, not just the big streamers.
And what are you talking about? Is that for Kick or for X?
For YouTube.
For YouTube.
Google owns YouTube.
Oh yeah, okay. No, I didn't even know that Google owned YouTube.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Oh, a long time ago. So yeah, so Judge Mata's ruling Mehta's MEHTA. I don't know. I screw up names all the time. I mean, this has been going on since like 1990. They've been fighting this around since 1990. That's the reason why I said we all knew it was a monopoly, because anybody that talks anything, I mean, we found that out like during the whole COVID crisis and everything else. And, it was COVID. There was something else there for a while. You couldn't talk about certain things. Like, I think it was with the last election, you couldn't talk anything election wise, or they shadow banned you or they didn't do anything with your page. They actually locked you out or not locked you out, but didn't put you in the search results.
Yeah.
Kind of goes in with like what's going on with X and Rumble too, suing the advertising space. But, yeah, it says ruling significant parallels with the historic Microsoft antitrust case from the 1990s, that emphasizing the power of the default, which means basically everybody uses. I mean, it's just like when you use like your Safari on your Apple or your whatever, I can't remember what Android is, but whatever browser sources on your Android, the default browser search engine is Google.
Yeah.
Or Bing. Bing is Microsoft. So, I mean, it's whichever one, but I mean, the default one, when you first get your iPhone and stuff like that, the default one is usually when you search through Safari it's searching Google.
Right.
So that's one of the things that they were worried about, is the fact of the matter is that because of the power of the default, and anytime, I mean, it's just like, so like we're using, oh, what the fuck is this called? It's that lighter version of Chrome, Brave. So we're using, no, not Brave. What the fuck is
Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's Brave. It's a Chrome, lower version of Chrome. I mean, it's still a Chrome browser, but it doesn't have all the bells and whistles. It's like a light version of Chrome. Because you know where Chrome has, when you open up a tab, it opens up 9,000 tabs in the back end. But anyways, it says that the power of the default in maintaining monopolistic control, Google is found to have breached Section 2 of the Sherman Act, which prohibits monopolistic practices by creating formidable barriers to entry and reinforcing the dominance through exclusive contracts. It says it does not immediately prescribe remedies or penalties for Google. Instead, separate trials begin on September 4th will determine the appropriate measures, which could range from financial penalties to significant changes in Google's business practices, such as prohibiting certain exclusive agreements. Of course, they're planning on appealing this situation, but the whole fact of the matter that, you know, like I said, everybody that's ever used YouTube or put, you know, does anything with YouTube, put videos up or anything else like that, you know, there's always, some days you'll do good depending on your content. It's kind of like X. I'm not going to lie. X is the same way. If you put up certain things on X, that new algorithm they put in, there's a whole list of things that you can't say or can't reference and can't say. It's not like stifling your free speech, but there's certain subjects that will keep you out of the boosting no matter if you pay for it or not, which I think is kind of a ripoff, because if you pay for that Premium Plus, it's supposed to be a boost in your algorithm to boost your posts. Because I've noticed that I've been playing around with it here the last few days to see which ones do it. Some of the ones that, when I don't talk politics, I usually get pretty good hits on it. When I do start talking politics, I get lower hits on it. So yeah. I'm not in that politic realm like everybody else is, you know, all the big names out there, but yeah, so like I said, I mean, some of the things that they're talking about could possibly happen with Google is, you know, the courts may force them to split up all their, you know, because right now it's like, that's one thing they were talking about earlier is the fact of the matter is like a platform. So they ruled this in the lot here when the Supreme Court was doing all their rulings here before they went on recess. They ruled that platforms still were not responsible for the creator's content, you know, because they're a platform and not a news agency, not a news distribution. So what this is going to come into play is it's like, okay, so I mean, in all actuality, they basically are, because especially if they help you promote through algorithmic design and stuff like that, it's basically a publisher. So, yeah. I mean, they don't publish it for you, but they help you with discoverability in a way. So that's what some of these bigger creators are trying to get at. It's just like, okay, so the platform, you know, it's just like all this stuff going on with Kick, with all these streamers on Kick. You know, if that law went the other way when the Supreme Court was ruling on it, all of these creators that are doing stupid shit on Kick that are getting banned, and on Twitch that are getting banned, the platforms could have been actually responsible for everything they did, like all the pedo stuff, all the life-threatening stuff, you know, like certain people out there putting guns in people's mouths and stuff like that, drinking heavily on stream, you know, basically anything that really violates every TOS between YouTube, TikTok, and Kick and Twitch. Yeah, you know, Kick has been getting away with, but if these laws got reversed somehow, then the platforms would have been probably been liable for anything that happened. Because I know, I don't know if you guys remember, like back, what was it, 2 years ago, where that dude live streamed shooting up that supermarket up there in New York.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, he went and shot. He went in and he live streamed it as he was going in and shot and killed like 3 or 4 people and wounded a bunch of more. He just went in and started shooting people in the supermarket, and he was streaming it live. You know, they try to nail Twitch for that, but because of that law stating that they're a platform and not a publisher, you know, Twitch got away with it. They banned the channel, of course, but I mean, the guy went to prison, but because I don't think he died. I think he went to prison. But yeah, I mean, so all this is coming down. I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming down. I mean, that's a good thing, because if they're required to split up, so one of the things they're talking about is that the judge might rule to where they'll have to split up, you know, their YouTube video catalog, their video side of it, and then they'll have to split like their ad revenue and everything else and make all these different companies that are within one thing, separate, so that could be a good thing in the long run, but we'll see what happens in September. If it actually, like I said, they are, they're right. They've got it in an appeal. They could also find, financial penalties. Yeah, it says that one of the main remedies was to.
I fixed it, Rebel. I think I fixed it. Still a little bit choppy, but I think I fixed it.
It might get there. Sometimes there'll be hiccups and it takes a while to read.
I don't got a keyboard, so unfortunately my fucking KBPS or whatever it is at 9,000.
Holy shit! That's
well,
probably
I can't change it. Can't fucking change it because I don't got a keyboard.
Once you got the
keyboard doesn't work for some reason.
Oh. But so one of the things is like separating the search engine operations from other parts of the company, like we talk about, or its advertising or its ownership of YouTube. Well, I can say own Android too. Well, yeah, I guess it is because Google's Android. So
yeah, I mean, basically, what they would do is they would create. It would be like creating 3 sister Googles.
Yeah.
Right. And it can look exactly the same, just have a different name, or it could have the same name, but just I don't know about the same name. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but.
And one of the main reasons why they say they did it because all these other companies that come in and try to make these things, because Google and the Alphabet company is so massive and so powerful, they don't get a chance. Yeah. They have so many people with so much money that are working against them to make them. It's the reason like places like Rumble, have a hard time in the space is because of the fact of YouTube. Because of Google. It's not because of market shares or anything like that. It's just the fact that they try to do something and, the powers of the big corporation overshadows the little ones. So it's hard to get past that shadow. Once they get past that shadow, I think Rumble will like explode. Because, there's already a lot of people that like Rumble preferably over YouTube because of the fact of, it's a free speech thing. I just started going live on YouTube because I got tired of uploading the videos. Because sometimes we talk a lot.
I realize that some of these websites that are dictating that they've got free speech, which is all fine and dandy, but it comes with a cost, right? And a lot of people don't realize what that cost is until they actually see it right in freaking front of their face, or they,
But what is free speech? Nobody's really been able to. Because free speech means different between whoever's talking. What I think about free speech is that I know as a thinking human being that has some common sense that I know there's a lot of things I can't get away with and a lot of things I wouldn't try to get away with. But there's a lot of people out there that feel that, doing like the stupid shit they do on Kick and these other platforms, they constitute that as free speech, and that's not speech. It's expression. That's not speech. It's classified under the same Protection Act, but it's still not the same thing. So, it's like putting your life in danger for content. That really isn't free speech. That's being stupid in my part, but.
Well, I don't know. Having a streamer hold 2 people up,
Oh no.
Content to me doesn't seem like it's like that's a criminal act. So caught on tape.
Yeah.
So therefore, you should be in jail. I don't even know if that person got sent to jail.
Well, it's like the whole thing, like with on Kick with Vitaly and all of them doing that stupid shit. You're basically you're doing a good deed in the mindset of it. But when you're looking at the way they're operating it illegally because you're illegally detaining those people. You don't realize it. If you stop somebody, you can place people under citizen's arrest, but they don't have to stay there. Just because you say citizen's arrest, that doesn't mean they have to stay there because you can't legally restrain those people. Because if you put any type of zip ties or have somebody hold their hands until the cops get there, that's an illegal detention. And it will get kicked out of court. That's why I guarantee all this shit you're seeing on Vitality Stream, none of those motherfuckers are going to jail. I think what they have, they're either show cops or the cops are in on it just for the content, but they're not going to jail. Because you can't legally detain somebody if you don't have the authority.
Yeah, we don't exist in a world of free speech, because if there was free speech, then you wouldn't have rant.
No, I mean, it's not totally, no, free speech. That's what I'm saying, though. But you got some of these kids out there, some of these younger generations that think free speech. Yeah.
They have it. You don't have it because what happens to you in the real world is ramifications.
Yeah.
You are a dumbass if you think it's funny or great content to be sitting in a car, and then when the national anthem of the Nazis come on,
yeah,
and that you're gonna word mouth it, or lip sync to it and stuff like that. Like, great content, that just shows your ignorance to life.
I mean, a good example of that, talking about free speech, I mean, that's just what's happening in the UK right now. They're arresting all these protesters that, remember here that, they protested, supposedly they were protesting the death of those two teenagers by that illegal alien that was over there, or that illegal immigrant. Sorry, when I was a kid, they were called illegal aliens. I know they've changed the name to immigrants, but the fact of the matter is, they're going out and arresting all these people that are putting posts up, and now they're talking about taking social media down. They're wanting to literally ban social media like X, YouTube, and all of that over there right now.
I could see that, but I can be honest with you, in all the fucking police videos I've ever watched, you gotta admit, they've got their shit down pat, man, because usually if you saw a Canadian or an American cop, they're usually sweating their asses off with a fucking battering ram.
Well, what cracks me up is that's a fiberglass door. You can tell it's fiberglass because of all the white stuff flowing out of it when they're cutting it. They have a battering ram there. They could have hit that battering ram right there on that handle, and I guarantee that door would have opened up. That's what I'm saying. Are they doing this for like shock and awe value?
Okay, so one of my community members is just saying he could be wrong, but I thought the riots was because 3 young ladies or young girls were stabbed.
Was it 3? I know. I knew it was. I couldn't remember exactly how many, but that's not what they ended up being over, because there was people that were there, kind of like what we have up here when we had like our school riots going on, and the riots, the protests and everyone, riots and protests, same thing is basically what it was. But you had all these radical groups in there that were protesting because of, I don't know. But I know, like I said, I know the reason why they're doing this is because they're going out and arresting people that are posting shit, kind of like what they did with the whole Trump assassination attempt thing. They're going out and arresting those people for talking negative towards, what was going on towards police and everything else.
I don't disagree with my community member Wafia. He said that that's what the rioters are using the excuse for rioting.
Yeah.
I think that, look, you know what? If you want good things to come out from a bad situation, you got to be clear-minded and open-minded about it, and protest peacefully about it, because you're going to get much more fucking done protesting peacefully than allowing rioters to destroy what you're trying, because those rioters, while they're doing that, the message is being far missed.
Oh yeah.
At that point, the government's not listening to what your message is. The government's listening to all the violations and crime that's occurring.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm just kind of. I mean, this could possibly, if what I don't, whatever side you think is the wrong hands. Like I said, I'm not on either side, but whatever side you guys think is the wrong hands, what happens in November? I mean, this could generally happen over here with the person with the wrong set of power. You know, they could literally. I mean, Obama tried it. Obama tried to have the internet kill switch put in. You know, to where he killed the internet if there was any sort of this kind of stuff going on. He could basically one button, you know, order somebody to shut down the internet or United States wide. You know, that never went through. But
so the main Wafi is saying that one of the main reasons why there's such a big thing about it was because there was a lot of misinformation that was spread around. Like one is being that the person that did the stabbing was Muslim, right? Mm-hmm. Look, you know what? Whoever did the stabbing was a sick individual. So, you know, like, why try to label race or what his beliefs are? We already know he's a sick individual. You know? Yeah. And there's probably clues prior, but because he came from wherever he came from, there was no vetting done, or there was no calls made, or there was no reports done on this individual. So you might have been sitting in the cracks, sick as fuck in the head, and did what he did.
Well, I mean, too. I mean, it's no different than here. I mean, I call it out. Whatever I see something online that does on Twitter or on X that does not make sense, I will research it, and I will research it for a few hours. And if I cannot find anything that corroborates it, I call it out.
Yeah. And I want to say to anybody that's in chat or anyone, honestly, when it comes to like, well, you know, like I don't have any empathy or sympathy for this individual. What I'm getting at is that, like, when we got sick people, we have a lot of sick people in this world. So it's our duty as other humans to make sure that those sick individuals get the help that they need or get the punishment that they need. It makes no sense destroying things and blurring that fucking message that we're trying to get.
And the thing is, though, I mean, if you want to blame,
and that includes how do people do it now? Oh yeah, PDF file.
Yeah. I mean, even if I mean, if we can blame each other. I mean, that's exactly what's going on. That's exactly what they wanted. This has all been a plan that's been worked up. You know, I've been talking to a bunch of people in DMs and stuff like that over the last few weeks about, you know, the whole idea. We ask each other questions about, you know, when we thought we were lost as a country, and I stand firm on it, and I will die on that hill. The fact of the matter is, we lost what this country meant when they assassinated JFK. When they assassinated JFK, when they assassinated Martin Luther King Jr., when they assassinated Bobby Kennedy, or supposedly. But when all of them people died, Malcolm X, that's when we lost this country. And I think, and because we influenced the world, I think that's when we lost the world.
You don't believe that they had any like martyr effect in your history? You don't believe that that there was like? Do you believe that it's diminished? Like the effect that happened in those scenarios has diminished over time?
No, I think it's only gotten worse. Because I think what happened in the 60s, we were a little bit more laid back, and we were a little bit more fearful of the government because we trusted the government. And I think we became fearful of the government when the conspiracy theories and the idea that they could literally get rid of their political opponents that were standing in their way of what they wanted to do. I mean, Eisenhower warned us when he left office, when Kennedy took over, to watch out for, because the military industrial complex it all rolls down into that. I mean, if you want to call that the deep state, if you want to call it the shadow government.
X? Who killed Malcolm X?
No, I don't remember who did,
but like, is there a conspiracy theory where like it was a government conspiracy?
They're all four of those are.
Really?
Yeah. Thomas Hagen, former member of the Nation of Islam.
What?
Thomas Hagen, also known as Talmadge Hayer, former member of the Nation of Islam, assassinated Malcolm X on February 21st, 1965. You asked me who assassinated Malcolm X.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I got lost because I was staring at that breaking news bullshit.
Oh.
Taylor Swift.
But no, I mean, that's what, going back to the whole thing of what I got off on the whole thing with the government was the fact is the matter is, I mean, we've always had propaganda. We've always had misinformation. I mean, we found that out, back during, we literally started opening our eyes during Desert Storm when we realized the shock and awe when we went back a second time that one, the government fed us, the people, misinformation, and then come to find out that the reason why people don't trust the news sources, don't trust the mainstream media is that fact right there, is because they were feeding us what the White House press secretary was giving them, sitting there saying, this is what you need to report.
Do you believe that Biden is alive still?
Huh.
Or do you believe that the dude that you're seeing is a body double?
Did you hear where they've been joking around that it's Jim Carrey in a Biden costume? Because the dude did grow taller. I'm not gonna lie, because they did a height analysis between him and Jill the other day, prior to him getting sick in Vegas to now. He's like almost 6 inches taller. So either they put lifts in his shoes, or that is definitely somebody else.
Wafia, I don't disagree with you on that scenario. Wafia in my chat said, I do feel for the 3 girls being stabbed, but the violent riots and looting are not going to help the issue. It'll just escalate the problem, which will force the police to get harsher to deal with the increasing violent crowds. Right.
Well, and the fact of the matter is,
because of all the video, because there's so much video and so much clippings being done, because people are going to clip farm the shit out of this. You're a witness to a violent act if you're videotaping, which therefore allows a police officer to be able to come and search your house for your digital things, so that they can perform their investigation on the people that were involved.
Well, if they know about the video, if they know that you took the video.
Well, if you're posting videos online,
I post videos every day, and I don't take them
on any platform. Any police force can check them out.
Well, yeah, but I don't take them though. Out. Well, if they know where to find me, yeah.
But I'm just saying that so the reason why you see cops showing up and chopping a door in half is because it's the same thing that happened during
it's a different set of laws too. Well, you're talking about the UK, Canada, and the United States. They have different laws when it comes to that. They actually have laws that actually work for the way they're supposed to work. Down here, we don't.
Okay, but at the same time, though, you guys still have riots the same way that UK or Canada does. It is over a large one event, which causes a bunch of rioters to start doing it everywhere.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to lie, but we also have, like I said, there's also the radical side of things. Like I said, they're known to be in the UK and stuff like that too, but you got Antifa, you've got all these other different classified as domestic terrorism type organizations that come into these groups and try to separate and try to cause havoc. I mean, it's just like, they found out even like with the J6 incident. They found out that there was people that had inserted themselves into that group of MAGA that they're slowly starting to come out. I mean, it's just like that one dude. They still don't know who he is. That one, I can't remember what his name is, and that's been so long since I paid attention to that. But, he was like the one actually video evidence of him saying they needed to storm the Capitol, and then he got off scot-free, and still is not in jail. I think he's being questioned and he's being looked at, but I don't think he's in jail yet. But there's hardcore evidence that he literally said, "Let's storm the Capitol." That Roy, whatever his name is, Roy Epps. But no, I'm saying that's different though. But like in UK and Canada, their law enforcement doesn't take shit like this. They actually do something about the rioters, and they do something about
and then
these
it makes
radical
national
groups.
news about how bad the leader is because he's imprisoning fucking Canadians.
Yeah. Again,
Meanwhile, there's like 30,000 people that are like breaking the law. Like.
But then again, that goes back to what people think free speech is all about. What we talked about in the beginning.
Right. You know what I learned about free speech? I learned about free speech in 2003 when I tried to cross your border with 6 joints.
How is that free speech?
How is that free speech? It was because I was freely able to say whatever the fuck I wanted, and they recorded it. So when the county when the county sheriff picked me up, he's like, "Why didn't you throw him out the door or out the window before he got to the border?" And I was like, "Well, I'm a pothead, sir." So then when I went to court, they sent me a letter in the mail from the United States courts, and in there it had everything that I had said to the county sheriff, that I was a pothead, everything, which I thought was fucking fantastic.
Well, yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty kosher with never going back to the United States again.
But like I said, though, I mean, that's not really classified under free speech. I mean, you were free to say what you wanted to say, but
exactly.
But the fact of the matter is, as a law enforcement officer, when it comes to information, when it comes to incriminating evidence, because basically you incriminated yourself, they wrote that down.
I even made him weigh out my joints.
Oh, good God.
Yeah, and he obliged. He's like, "Oh, it's..."
Well, yeah, because if they could get you, they get enough of it, they could get you for trafficking.
Yeah, he got me for $500. That's what you guys got me for.
Well, I mean, today they could get you for trafficking. It's just like when I used to work for the jail. We had the 2 incidents I can remember that were just funny as hell when it comes to that. Is we used to have this drunk, and he used to get arrested every once in a while, and they would bring him in, and we'd throw him in the drunk tank and let him sober up, and then he'd have his day in court and be out. But he came in one day, and they put him back. He was back in general population. It's like, what the hell are you doing back here? So I went and looked at his booking record, and he got brought in for possession of liquid cocaine. And I'm like, liquid cocaine? I didn't even know that was a thing. And but what had happened is they got pulled over for speeding or whatever. The cops pulled him over, and he had a rock of cocaine, a rock of crystal, or cocaine. And instead of like throwing it somewhere else, he thought he was going to be smart and put it in the 1 gallon jug of water they had for drinking water. And when it dissolved, it became liquid cocaine. So instead of the one little rock of cocaine that they would have, the 1 gram or whatever of cocaine that they had, they turned around and charged him for a gallon of water in poundage. So basically he had whatever, I don't remember how much a gallon of water is, but they had him for that many pounds of liquid cocaine, which was a hell of a lot stronger offense than the little gram of cocaine.
Oh, no. Wafia, just to clear up, okay. I was within all my rights were given to me freely. I was allowed to have a phone call. I was allowed to say what I wanted. And yes, the sheriff did read me my Miranda rights when he arrived at the border, right? Because Border Patrol can just detain me. They have to call him to come pick me up and to actually arrest me. They actually can't arrest you. That's
the reason why they have.
But then they'll call their local jurisdiction police to come pick you up and put you in jail. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
it's the
did get
reason
my
why they.
Miranda rights written.
It's the reason why they
And
incorporated ICE, because ICE is the actual the arresting agency now.
yeah, so like I was compliant, right? Like I wasn't fighting it or like being belligerent or anything. Like the sheriff was like, "Do I have to handcuff you?" And I'm like, "No." And I just went and sat in the back of the sheriff's vehicle.
And see, the thing is now, even with the Miranda rights, even if you get pulled over, and unless you're being questioned for a crime, officers don't even have to read you your Miranda rights. They can arrest you, take you down to the station, and let you sit there. And until somebody comes in to actually start questioning you, they don't even have to read you your Miranda rights.
Right, and border. I mean, the authority that they have is detaining you for as long as they want. But also, if they detain you, can request things. You can request water. You can request food, especially if they're going over 8 hours for sure.
See, I know when I was working for the jail.
Detainings, yeah, it's different from arrests. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, arrest means that they're actually they have something to arrest you on. Detaining means they're just gonna question you and hold you until they can find something to arrest you on. You're suspicious. You don't actually have a charge. You're just suspicious of having a charge. But that's what I'm saying, though. Is just like, finishing up like the free speech thing. It's just like some of these platforms, all these platforms are immune to all this shit that happens, so they don't care. It's the reason why Kick don't do anything, because legally they don't have an obligation to do anything.
No, but at the same time, though, you're building a business, right? You want a good rapport with that business, right? You don't want to you don't want to have a shoddy product. You want a pristine product, and the minute that you see people tarnishing that product alongside of everybody else's brands, right? Like I understand that there are large streamers out there that have got confident brands, very confident brands, where they're able to afford the mockery that other people do on streaming platforms.
Yeah,
But
well, I mean, that's the reason. That's the reason why Twitch got so strict. Everybody got pissed off when Twitch got so strict. That's because their advertisers were putting pressure on them, because that's how they make money, is off of their ad revenue. They don't make money off of the streamers. They make money off their ad revenue. They're using the streamers to promote their ads until people start realizing that's what they use. YouTube's the same way. YouTube uses their creators to promote their advertisers.
Which leads me to believe that when you get high, okay, so when you start streaming, I think that the way that they could resolve this issue is by actually making it like a hire on, where you're being vetted. You're being vetted. This open market streaming thing is not working for their top dollar, the top profit that they want. What they
and I think if they did that too,
they
I
have
think
to treat it like an employee, running a business.
Well, and I think you would have a lot more happier content creators if they did it that way too, because that means they would have a bigger chance of making revenue from those streams instead of
right. And it also, what it does is it might be my Discord. Hold on, I'm still in Discord.
Oh, if you're still in Discord, that's probably what it is.
Is that better? I don't know. Anyway, but then that results in all the streaming platforms having rock solid policies on harassment, racism, and sexism. And the sexism part also would have to dabble in the whole what as them being a company, what their policies are and what sexualizing is.
Yeah.
Then you would see a dip, because then it's not worth some creep, some frickin' predator to even try, because he knows he's not going to see that.
Yeah. Well, and I think instead of these
Same with
platforms,
these chat platforms are really bad now. Like Mogul and Monkey App, and that is a feeding frenzy
yeah, I don't even know why they have those around.
Of you guys not paying attention to your kids and what they're doing, because kids shouldn't be on those fucking apps at all.
No.
Let the perverts play with the perverts, is what I say.
Well, and I think these streaming platforms like Kick, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Trovo, all of them, I think they ought to quit fighting amongst each other about who's going to be the biggest and baddest, and actually get together like
quality and being the best.
Have something to where they have certain, I understand each platform has their own policies, but have one standardized policy when it comes to certain things. That way, when you jump from platform to platform, you don't have things like happened with Kick, to where it's the reason why people left Twitch to go to Kick, is because they could get away with shit on Kick that they couldn't get away with on X or on Twitch. Even here streaming on X, there's certain things you still have a creator's guideline that you have to go by. If you start doing shit on here that you're not supposed to do, if you do the stuff on Kick that some of the streamers do on Kick on X on a live stream, you'll lose your ability to stream on X. And the same thing goes for YouTube. You'll lose your ability to stream on YouTube. So, that's the reason why they do it on Kick right now, is because there's no regulation to it. Because Vitaly wouldn't be able to do what he did on X without, a fear of getting community noted or taken down and hit strikes. And he definitely would get a strike on streaming it live on YouTube. But no, that's what I'm saying.
Do you have any policies on harassment?
Yeah, they basically copied and pasted all the Twitches when they first started. And the ones that you've been seeing pop up here and there throughout the year, those have been in there since Kick started. People don't understand. It's like, oh, look at this new policy. It's like, no, your ass just finally realized that there was terms of service.
If they copy and pasted the TOS of Twitch, right? Let's say they did. Okay, as a streamer, I am not allowed to harass people in my community, or if I was if my kid was here, right? I can't harass my kid in front of my Twitch, my community. That would be against TOS policy. Like if I was berating my daughter in front of everyone, calling her names and stuff like that, against TOS, correct? Right? Because people are witnessing me doing a violation. So I think that the people that are, yeah, man, just fuck. You see shady shit, fucking ban it. Report it.
No, that's what I can understand. That's what Andrew said on Kick. He goes, the reason why we're not banning all these people is because you all are going straight to social media to knock these guys, try to get these guys in trouble, and you're not reporting them.
You're farm clipping the violation, and then literally one of two things are going to happen. People are going to share it all over the place because they're not going to do anything. They're not going to go to that dude, and they're not going to fucking report him. Even if he did, he's already seen it on social media, so all it requires him to do is stay offline. And somebody goes onto his thing and sees him offline, they can't really report him for fucking anything because he's offline.
Well, that's what happened with that Panda dude. It's the reason why it took so long to get him off of Kick, is for the fact that because Andrew said, I have to say that I do agree with that, because Andrew said when they went to go check the ban reports on his channel, there was zero. There was zero reported violations on his channel.
Right. So instead of farm clipping him berating on his stream, harassing other streamers, you as that streamer being berated report him, but then that's all you can do is report him. You can't go to your community and say shit
or DM staff directly.
Shit like that. You just can't do that stuff because it's against policy. And because of that, if you keep yourself to a strict fucking in your head of your own policies that you don't like, you will never hear My Gun Is Huge say the hard F word, the hard R word, any of the words that we refer to by letters because we don't say them. You won't hear it from me. And the reason why is because I have my own policies in my own head.
I mean, look at it this way. That back when the riots were out, I made a comment to a post on X. It was just a comment, and it wasn't nothing bad. I was just sitting there talking about, one way to solve this was to get fire trucks with water cannons and take them out. That got me. I mean, it took me a few days because I don't check that email that it's to. And there was a strike notice in there, not a strike, but a warning notice that they were going to throttle that message down. They didn't take it down, but they said they were throttling that message down to where it didn't go nowhere. But just saying that, to use water cannons from a fire truck, that got me in trouble for violation for hate speech. I mean, I took that comment off because, I didn't want it to come back up later on and into where I actually did get a strike. But I mean, I've got several warnings from these places, from YouTube. That's the first one I got from X, but I've gotten warnings from Twitch and warnings from
I'll be right back. Hold on.
And warnings from YouTube about certain things, but I've never gotten any strikes or anything bad. But so they do give you the option of taking care of it before it gets to that point. Now, whether the ones they want to do it or not, it's totally up to them. And then they can't really cry and whine about it when they actually do get in trouble. It's just like on Twitch when you get the copyright warnings. If you get copyright warnings for playing copyrighted music, I get copyright claims all the time on some of my music that I use that I have licensing for, that I have to send the licensing in to get the copyright claim taken off. But it's just like the other night when I went live on YouTube, I streamed the Aiden thing. I got a copyright claim from that. Didn't affect my channel or anything, but it just, they saying that I was using copyrighted material. But then you see all these other people using it. It makes sense. And I guarantee they're not getting copyright claims for using, the streams. We were doing, maybe because I didn't have reaction in the title, maybe that was the reason why. But so, yeah. So when you guys do these on Twitch and stuff like that, when you get copyright claims for playing music and RIA comes down on you and pulls your channel, you don't have anybody to blame but yourself, because Twitch is giving you fair warning. And that's how the platforms get away with it, because they're not reliable for your content. They're trying to save you from getting those strikes and those things. But if you continue to do it, and RIA, which is the one that controls the lawyers for the music industry, if they come down, they can actually, Twitch has given them permission to come has given them the API to come into the channel and literally live ban your channel. So just remember that when you guys are playing copyrighted music, just because you're getting muted in your VODs and you erase a VOD, you always got to remember those VODs are backed up. You can pull those VODs, even though you erase them off your page, they're backed up onto a backup server. Because I pulled up videos that I've erased off my page. I pulled up videos from back when I very first started streaming. So they don't go away. What is true, what's on the internet stays on the internet. And for those of you in Gunny's chat, I don't have his chat pulled up, so I don't know if you guys are talking or not, but but no, like I said, be very, very careful. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of these people say, well, it's free speech. No, it's not free speech. And with all the misinformation and everything else that is going on with, you see it daily. If you're a strong X reader like I am and are on X at least 4 or 5 hours a day, So I'm trying to hit that 5 million mark so I can start getting paid. But if you're on there and you start seeing things, you'll notice, and especially if you have a diverse style of content on your page, like I do, because I have a little bit of streamers, but most of mine's like politicals from both sides, because I respond to both sides of the aisle, so I can get both sides of the narratives on my page, so I can evaluate both of them. But yeah, you'll start seeing, especially now, like during these major election seasons like this here, you'll see a lot of misinformation. Because people are using it to clickbait. They're click farming, they're engagement farming. Just for the fact, because they hit those 5 million engagement in 3 months, and as long as you're a part of the creator program, you start getting paid. I'm part of the creator program. I just haven't hit that mark yet. But yeah, so I mean, you just got to be careful. That's why I always say, be careful what you read and see on the internet. I mean, hell, I called out one today. We're getting ready to talk when Gun gets back. Let's talk about Taylor Swift real quick, and then we'll jump into the next topic. But, but talking about Taylor Swift, there was a post that was posted earlier today showing the fact of the matter that there was her standing on a stage and supposedly a shadow of Kamala Harris in the background. So there was rumors going around that she was heavy into going to support Kamala Harris. So I got curious because the post just looked fake, so I started going through all of her other socials like Instagram, Facebook, X. And I did find a photo that resembled that one, but it didn't have the shadow and it didn't have the full background like that one did. So I guarantee that was, somebody put that out there and said, oh, look, trying to spread the propaganda, trying to cause the division. And I think that's why it's only going to get worse as it goes on. And I can understand why the UK is trying to do what they're doing about trying to stop, the spread of misinformation. And the only way they're going to be able to do that is to flip the switch on social media and kill social media over there. It's the only way you're going to do it. You're not going to stop misinformation on these platforms because it's too readily available and there's too many users and not enough moderators to moderate it. And not enough people reporting it. I mean, you can do the same thing on X. If you find something that doesn't, there's a little tab right up here that sits there and it says request a community note, or you can report, if you think it's misinformation, you can request a community note on every page. Or you can, if you don't have that ability, you can always quote tweet it and tag community notes in it, and then they'll review it. And then if they feel that it's not right, if it's false information, they'll community note it. Then that content creator gets put into a database of misinformation, and that's how they monitor. But I don't know. You just got to be very, very careful about what you see on anything when it comes to like people on Kick, Twitch, X, YouTube, because there's a lot of fake AI videos going around on YouTube as well, because it's AI content. As long as they stay within the guidelines of posting the videos and they don't get in trouble, those people monetize off of it. Because they have these systems now to where you can literally just type in a prompt into the prompt bar and it will literally generate a 15-minute video for you. Different, some of the, you can always tell an AI generated video because some of the things they're talking about aren't what's being displayed in the video. When you're seeing things like that, when they're talking about, random, like talking about P. Diddy, there was a lot of things I was seeing a lot of AI generated videos about P. Diddy. When they were talking about his case that was going around, you were seeing a lot of those AI generated videos that just had like random people in it. Had nothing to do with P. Diddy. It's because when they type it into, like, you can do it with CapCut. If you have CapCut, you can type it into the prompt and it will generate you a video. It will ask you if you want to use AI generated content or if you want to use your own. If you use AI generated content, it's just going to throw images out there that it pulls off the internet. So literally, you're taking other people's images because that's where they get the images from. Is off of other people's pages.
Mm-hmm.
But it don't necessarily mean about what you're talking about. That's the reason why I don't use CapCut, because not for the AI generated videos. I have started using CapCut for everything else because it is an awesome video editor for free. But now we'll jump in real quick. Like I said, I'm just going through some like trending things on Twitter, and then we'll jump into a couple major stories that we were going to talk about. But so this one here was coming out. You know, we were talking about ISIS the other night. So Taylor Swift has shut down her Australia tour due to the fact because they arrested 2 people that were targeting her concerts, or 3 people that were targeting her concerts that were a part of ISIS, and they were going to attack the concert. You know, so if they'd have got through, and that's why I don't even know if I would be over there right now. I would not want to have a concert anywhere near the Middle East right now. With all that shit going on, I would not, because you're putting millions of people at risk by having them at that concert.
Yeah, that already happened one time at how do you say it?
Arraias?
No,
or Uraeus tour?
Ariana.
Oh.
That happened at her concert.
Oh, yeah.
Mass shooting or whatever, where it was in Europe.
I mean, hell, it can even happen here, because look at Vegas, you know, a few years ago, you know, with the Country Stampede concert that was down there. You know, the guy stood up on the tower and emptied out 3 clips in a machine gun and an assault rifle into the crowd. But no, that's what I'm saying. Who's to say, you know, I'm sure there was probably a credible threat if they actually literally if she literally canceled her concert. But so that's what I'm saying. You just got to be careful about things like that. Oh, here's that video. Here's that clip I was talking to you about. This is what I'm saying. You got to be careful of AI generated clips, because I went through, because I mean, it looks like an Instagram photo. I'm not going to lie. It looks like it's a page from her Instagram, which this photo right here with her standing in front of this door, but you can tell just by the way it's in there, it's an AI generated photo. I mean, not AI, but it's a copy and pasted photo. The dude's not very good. I mean, the shadows are all off. You can tell the set's not, you know, so he got put the set behind there to match the one photo that she had that was similar to this, which I think she's actually turned a little bit towards like where the microphone is. You can even tell like the microphone's not even real.
It looks like she was walking on stage.
Yeah, but it's still fake.
He's commenting on the fact that she's holding a pose, just like Kamala Harris.
No, the shadow in the background.
Yeah.
He's talking about the shadow in the background being Kamala Harris.
That's a shadow?
Yeah, that's a shadow. That's a silhouette. Yes. Or not a shadow, but a silhouette.
Yeah, he's commenting on the fact that Taylor Swift is holding the same pose.
But this photo's fake. There is no photo on none of her social media that resembles this photo, other than the fact of this outfit, that guitar, that mic stand, and that backdrop. That ends like right here. Right. This part here is not even there.
Right. The guy that called to Activision made it.
Well, I don't know if he made it, but I'm sure he probably found it somewhere. But that's what I'm saying. This is the propaganda stuff that they're posting out there. That's the reason why you can't really tell with AI. You can't really tell, because I guarantee if I had that one with the Situation Room, where they were sitting in the Situation Room. Yeah, I know. That was a nice show. Oh, that was the little car jumping thing. see if it'll. Yeah, this one right here.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you look kind of closely at it, because AI does these videos or these pictures pretty fucking good. I mean, just look at
Biden looks like he's got Spock eyebrows, man.
That's what I'm talking about. I think this is an AI generated photo with one of those high quality, $100 a month type services that you can buy. Just for the fact that's what I caught on too. It's just like his fucking eyebrows like want to like fucking fly off his face. I mean, I was trying to look for some other discrepancies.
I think it's the shine on the leather chair in the back that I'm looking at.
If you zoom in on these pictures, they look like brush strokes, which is what AI does. It's not 100. AI is not 100% yet, so you can. It looks like brush strokes. That's just my opinion. You all can do what you want to with it, but I really think that. Well, I know it would to you, but because you don't play around with AI like I do.
That doesn't look AI. It doesn't look AI to me at all because
our pictures don't look AI either, and they are.
Well, I mean, frontal, yeah, and body maybe, but when you get down to the hands and the feet, it fucks it up every single time.
Not the high powered ones don't. I've made some pretty good renditions with a free. I had like a 15 credit free service, and I made a bunch of high renditions. I mean, I think I have one of Benjamin Franklin that's like amazing.
I mean, I'm not taking away like the fact that.
Oh, I'm not saying anybody to believe it. I'm just sitting there saying. Show this real quick. Okay, would you believe that's a real photo?
No.
Why? You want to know what? It is a real photo.
Oh, hold on.
So that's a real photo. All I did was cropped out the background.
Okay, no, like I don't get what you're getting at. Like
hold on.
I just because you cropped out the background.
Hold on. I was trying to give it. Well, this is what a real photo looks like. I was trying to find the other one. Not a Biden, but
I didn't know that we were that hardcore into AI that much.
I mean, this is definitely. So, I mean, look at the detail. This is detail. This is just a prompt sitting there saying, give me a picture of Abraham Lincoln. I mean, that's pretty fucking detailed.
Okay. Create an image. Write this down. Create an image.
No, because it'll ruin my... I don't have the CPU to use it through this. I can't do that at the same time. It takes... Because you're on the internet and it takes up bandwidth. But they're free programs, download them and do them. I mean, you just got to find the right one. You got to play around with the ones that actually, that's what I'm saying though. AI is a lot further advanced than what you think it is.
No kill shot. It's just going to be the podcast and then I'm going to bed because I'm an old man and I got to get up at fucking 4:00 in the morning.
So, but like I said, that's just me. I mean, like I said, with me playing around with AI, trying to get things like, on point. Like I said, I mean, I don't know, just by me messing around with graphics and everything else, it just looks like this is a background imposed with her imposed on it. But like I'm saying though, I mean, it's propaganda because one, she hasn't come out and said anything, even though we know that she's a supporter of the Democratic policies, but she has not come out and sit there and said anything about supporting Harris like all these others have.
I would call this more of a meme than a propaganda.
What do you think propaganda is? Propaganda is fake information, correct? Put out there to sway the other people. This is propaganda. Endorses Kamala Harris and MAGA losing their minds. That is a propaganda statement.
Yeah, okay, there I can see that. Yeah, it's misleading, yeah.
You know, because it was created falsely to show that she's supporting Harris when she has never come out publicly and said anything yet. No, do I think she's going to? More than likely, but, you know, do I think she's going to perform at the DNC? I doubt it. Just for the fact because I don't know. I don't know if the PAC has enough money to pay her to come and do it. No, but I know talking about the whole Harris situation, you know, there's a lot of you know, you've seen the post about Kaya Sanat, you know, supposedly getting called by somebody on Harris's campaign to try to get Harris's Harris. Yeah, it's from the Breakfast Club.
I don't know what this Breakfast Club is that you talk about, sir.
It's a podcast.
Oh, okay. So I've never listened to this podcast.
Probably not.
I'm a Good Friends podcast listener with Bobby and I can't remember the other.
I can't believe it. All of my posts. Something happened to all my posts. They all disappeared.
If you're in here, I apologize, but your name is like just popped out of my head.
So I mean, I'm sure we've all seen this one by now. Oh, do you take it down? Where'd it go?
What, with him crying?
No. No, this one. So supposedly, Kai was
fucking to be in a penthouse in New York. Then on top of that, I got the fucking Secret Service calling me 5 times, nigga! I don't know goddamn shit about politics, my nigga. I don't know nothing. Hey, I'm gonna keep it a stack. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I don't give a fuck. Okay? Listen, I had a bad bitch that I've been trying to get on for like the last 3 years, the last 2 years that I haven't spoke to in like a year. I haven't spoke to this girl in so goddamn long who gonna have the audacity to text me, "We need you a part of the campaign." At first I was thinking she was talking about like a game, a video game, like a Modern Warfare game, or some shit. Or if not that, a clothing brand. I'm like, what campaign? Shorty gonna say, we're not gonna get into details.
Yeah, he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to say the names. He doesn't want to get involved in politics.
Some way, somehow, something was to go into where I do the stream of politics, I'm going to be 100% honest. I'm going to sit on my stream and say, "Why did you guys call me?" Like, you know, I don't know. I've never did anything with politics, and these blogs are like trying to say, "Yo, we gotta do this shit, Kai." And it's all the top blogs, but I'm like, bro, since when did niggas?
Yeah. So this all stemmed from.
You're being very intelligent by saying no.
He's not the only one. There's a bunch of influencers, I guess, that the campaign has been contacting, and they're all telling her no.
Yeah, one thing that I did not like about Aiden Ross's little rendezvous with Trump. I'll say his name nicely. You know what's going on in my head, though. But that whole, I wish that he would have asked and did better content.
Oh yeah, he need definitely.
You're
needed
Gen
better
Z. The next 4 years that you guys give that man, if he's elected president, is going to dictate whether or not you still do what you do.
It's either side. I mean, same thing with Kamala. There's certain policies that could affect us too that she's finally starting to come out with.
Sure.
That could affect the streaming world. But this is what kicked that whole scenario type thing off. TMZ posted this: fans demand sleepover stream of Kamala to counter Aiden's MAGAfest. Besides, Senate service are being requested to help Kamala Harris for president after Aiden went on all out on Donald Trump. It says it didn't take long for Kai's name to become a trending topic across open simply because of Aiden being Aiden's counterpart, but Kamala's voters think he needs to step in and provide a balanced force.
Here, I'm going to say something. Okay, the best person to interview and have a sleepover with Kamala Harris, in my opinion, would be Amaranth.
Oh Lord!
Why? Because she's a very intelligent woman.
Oh, she is. She's very businessy.
And I believe that she would take the interview and the sleepover very seriously.
But that's the thing is, though, it's just like even some of the people that I've interviewed in the past, because they knew I did this political podcast, they always sit there and a lot of times they're hesitant to come on here because I do this because they don't want their names associated with politics, because they don't want to get involved in politics, because they know that once you get involved in politics, it's hard for people to see you as a centrist when it comes to it. They always think, just like you think I'm a conservative. A lot of people think I'm a conservative because of the way I talk on stream. No, I'm not a conservative because I will go against both sides. I go against Trump quite a bit on social media because of some of the stuff he says, and I don't agree how he talks. I don't agree with how he doesn't know how to control himself when he posts shit. Now, I mean, I think the reason why he became so popular and got voted in is because of the fact of the matter is because he was not a politician. I think people are tired of politicians. I think we need more people like that are not politicians, that have a business savvy sense, like Vivek. But the only thing about Vivek is that I don't think he has a strong European policy or foreign policy take on things. Now, if he had a VP that was strong on foreign policy, that would be a balance. But and that's what your VP is supposed to be. Your VP is supposed to take over what you as a president can't, don't have the ability to do, because all of us are not none of us are able to attract all sides of people at the same time. We always need to have that counterpart. We always need to have that, Batman to Robin type thing.
What if say Trump wasn't around, okay? Trump's never run for politics, okay? He's never had an inkling for politics.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Rubio is the Republican national nominee for president.
I think we'd probably lose because nobody likes Mark Rubio. He's not very popular in the polls.
I mean, he's the only fucking dude in the entire of your government that stood up to Trump.
Trump's not in the scenario anymore. Though. Remember, you said we took Trump out.
But what I'm saying is
you can't use Trump's name now.
Okay.
So what else is he good at?
Attacking people verbally when he's being attacked.
And Trump's not?
Trump says the same thing.
It's still the same thing. It's an attack.
No, it's...
How?
Okay, when you say the same attack all the time...
Just because it's worded differently?
It becomes like saying the same joke all the time, like a dad joke. It becomes a dad
I
joke.
know it gets pretty redundant. But what I'm saying, though, I mean, what else could you do? I mean, what are you going to do? You going to sit? So this is going to be an attack campaign. Is that what you want to see? You want to see more presidents standing up and attacking? I know it has been. We already. That's what I'm saying. We don't want that anymore. That's what people are getting. If you, like I said,
who's proving that right now on either side right now?
Nobody.
No, I mean the other side are doing it blatantly by just using words that are not considered TOS violations, like weird.
No, they're starting their attack campaign. You need to get into the times.
But they're using words like weird and strange.
Okay.
To attack Trump and JD Vance.
But it's just like everybody says. I mean, it's really not helping because everybody's like, we're all weird. We're all strange. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. You can call me weird. I know I'm weird. I know I'm strange. So how's that going to? Why would that be any type of an attack?
I'm weird. I'm strange.
Yeah. So why would that be an attack? Why would using that be an attack? I mean, it's not really an attack. It's just like it's like like on a school ground fight. They're just sitting there. The other person's like throwing fists, and the other one's like slapping at them. But no, I'm not saying that. Yes, I agree. The shit that Trump talks about and totally brings up the same stuff on every speech. Yeah, it's very mundane. I mean, it's getting old. I mean, but like you said, taking Trump out of the scenario and putting Mark Rubio in his place, you know, like you said, Trump was never there. Mark Rubio is the candidate. What would Mark Rubio bring to the table? Mm-hmm. That's what I'm asking you. You know Mark Rubio, so what would Mark Rubio bring to the table? I don't know
Mark Rubio. I'm making that scenario. I'm asking your opinion on that scenario.
I'm asking you, why would you want to vote for him? I mean, if you were here in America, what would make you want to vote for him?
I don't know any of his policies, so I can't answer that.
I mean, it's kind of the same way like with Harris.
Okay.
No, I mean, it's kind of like the same
name,
way.
A different name that I know. A different Republican name I know. What if it was Graham that ran for president, Republican president? Not me.
What policies does he
Lindsey
have?
Graham. I don't know. That's why I'm asking your opinion on it.
Rebel. I don't know either.
Oh, okay. Well, if you don't know Lindsey Graham or
I know who they
policies,
are. I just don't know what his policies are.
Okay.
Because he never made it far enough to actually show anybody what his policy was.
What about the governor of your state or the senator of your state?
Oh, Mark Wayne Mullen?
Well, like, do you know their policies?
No. Because he doesn't have any because he's not running. Well, I mean, he has stuff that he puts through that I don't know what all he does. He sits on different committees.
But you don't know like extensively.
No, I don't sit there and I'm not a watchdog. I don't sit there and watch him all day long.
I'm not saying watch him all day long. I'm saying that like when he's going for election that you listen to what his policies are and what he's going to be standing for the people that he is responsible for.
I don't know. I can't remember. He's been there so long that I don't remember what he ran for.
Oh, okay. I was just curious. I think it's just
what. I mean, no. I mean, I don't think a lot of people know. That's what I'm trying to get at. Nobody knows anybody's policy. All they're doing, it's what they call identity politics. We've gotten into this identity politics where, you know, the whole thing, like with Kabbalah and everything else, that's the reason why they're calling identity politics is because supposedly, you know, black woman, first woman, you know, that's going to be president or first woman VP, you know, she's these firsts. You know, that's what she's running on. She's running off of identity politics. She's not running off of a platform.
I mean, I watched the DNC speech that they did, or it was a rally, I guess. It wasn't really the DNC thing.
No, because that's not till another 2 weeks.
Yeah, so they did like a rally, and I saw the speech that they did together, and it was more family oriented because she was talking about his shit, and then he talked about what they plan to do together.
I know. That's what I'm telling you. The only thing, she really didn't have any policies until recently, and then she started flip flopping and taking over So we talked about Monday night. She started flip flopping and taking on some of the policies that the conservatives' policies that she was so inclined to, fight against, like the fracking and everything else. And she flip flopped on the whole idea when she came out, when she first got into the running. Everybody, she was announced and endorsed that, the whole, she was going to institute a buyback program for all assault rifles. And if you didn't buy back, we'd basically force you to give up your gun, and then she backtracked on that, later, a few weeks down the road. And then now all of a sudden she's back on that deal to where, basically she's going to force to come get her, force to take people's guns. She says she pushes it off. I mean, I can understand. I mean, her policy actually was to take all illegal weapons coming into the United States, but most of those that come into the United States are usually smuggled across. They're not bought from other countries. They're usually smuggled in here illegally by illegal, gun trade and stuff like that.
Well, I won't disagree with you on that. I mean, that's how we have gun violence up here, is a black market through the U.S. border.
And, I'm sure ours comes from different, other places, because yes, we produce a lot of guns, but we don't produce the AK-47. That's a Russian gun. We don't produce a lot. Actually, we don't produce a lot of these guns that come in here. Those are all usually produced outside of the country.
The U.S. make AK-47s.
I don't even think AKs are made anymore. I think it was a Russian military weapon.
Do American gun shops make AK-47s?
Well, I can tell you that no, because gun shops don't make weapons. They just sell them.
So Google said, yes, there are many AK platform rifles manufactured in the U.S.
Platform rifles, which basically the AR-15 is a platform rifle of the AK.
Do American gun companies make AK-47s? This it's a look-alike, yes, and it comes from real Russian heritage.
So it's not the AK. It's a fake. It's a replica of the AK.
Right. So people that don't give that up are probably gonna have somebody come over and be like, "Hey, we need that AK." That look, they'll have to identify it as a look-alike AK-47.
But what I'm saying, though, the fact of the matter is, it's not the idea of the policy. It's the idea that she stated it, retracted it, and then brought it back out again. That's a flip-flop, if you wanted a definition of a flip-flop. When you make a comment, then you retract it, and then you go back to the same comment. That's a flip-flop. But, no, I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean, the only reason why...
Okay, can I ask you a question then, talking about flip-flops again? Would you consider Trump's definition of a black job a flip-flop?
No. You don't even know the definition of flip-flop, so...
What?
How is that a flip-flop?
Somebody directly asked him, what are black jobs?
A flip-flop would mean... Okay, a flip-flop would mean saying... Would be that comment...
Didn't have an answer. And he didn't have an answer.
A flip-flop would mean he would say that question, then turn around and take it back. That's a flip-flop. Because you're flipping and flopping. I know he needs pictures.
No.
That's not a flip-flop.
No.
That's a direct statement. That's not a flip-flop.
Right. So somebody directly asked him about a statement that he had made prior to that interview.
Yes, we talked about this money, about the whole Epstein files. That would be classified as a flip-flop.
No, I'm talking about him talking about black jobs.
Did he take it back?
No.
And say he never said it?
No, but somebody directly asked him what it meant, and he flip-flopped the answer.
How the hell do you flip-flop an answer?
Because he didn't give one.
Wafia, explain to him what a flip-flop is, because apparently he don't understand. I love it when he gets... I love Gunn. I love him. I love him to death. But... No, like I said, I think the whole thing, like with... I'm not saying politicians do it all the time. It's just not Harris. Politicians do it all the time. I'm not going to lie. Trump's even flip-flopped on a lot of things. I'm not going to lie. He has. But politicians do it every day. You know, okay. So like a politician, if they promise you something in the beginning of their campaign term, you know, like usually happens.
You give me one interview with Trump where he didn't.
I don't know
every answer when somebody asks him.
You don't understand the term of flip flop. That's the whole point.
Absolutely, dude.
No, you don't.
Thing and then pulling it back.
No,
and saying something completely different.
Exactly. Right. That's Trump not what you're saying.
Does that on a regular.
If he doesn't answer, basis. No, he's not answering the question directly. That's not a flip-flop. That's just not answering the question directly. I know you want to get him so bad.
What is the definition of a flip-flop?
That beard's going to be gone one of these days.
Making an abrupt reversal of policy.
Exactly.
Right. So the only way the only way that somebody's going to
he's wrong and he got told
and then reverse it is by speaking.
What he said about the Epstein files, about saying he was going to release them, then turn around and said he wasn't, that's a flip-flop. But when you're not answering direct questions, that's not a flip-flop.
How many flip-flops has Trump had in policies?
I'm not saying he hasn't had any. I'm not denying your ability to know Trump so bad. I'm not denying that. He is, I'm not saying, just like I said, every politician is a flip-flopper, but the fact is that hurts them when it comes to campaign, when they're flip-flopping right in the middle of a campaign. Usually when people flip-flop, it's usually after they've already acquired what they're doing. That's usually when they're flip-flopping. He's flip-flopping right now, back and forth. But when you don't answer a question directly, yes or no, or give a direct, specific answer, that's not a flip-flop. Because you ask me questions like that all the time that I can't answer directly because I don't know the answer to answer them directly, and I'm not going to incriminate myself to answer something that I don't know. I'm not flip-flopping. I'm just not answering you directly. Flip-flopping would be like, hey, Gunn, your beard looks great today. And then 5 seconds later, oh, man, your beard just looks like shit. That would be flip-flopping. Because you're taking a statement and then you're rolling it back. Flip-flopping. Or if you're taking policies...
I would have taken it as at one moment you had a difference of an opinion.
It's still classified as a flip-flop when you do that. I know you would, but in the big world of politics, that's classified in conversations. That's a flip-flop when you do things like when you say you're going to do something, then you roll back on it, just like the definition says, and says you're not going to do it, and then you go back and say you're going to do it. That's flip-flop. Not saying, did you poop hard today, and you're sitting there and like, well, it was kind of you're not giving me a direct answer. That you're going around the question to answer the question, but you're not giving a direct question. Those reporters that do that want a direct answer, and there's not very many politicians that give direct answers because a direct answer can be critical to whatever they're talking about. They can take it out of context. It's the reason why you don't see a lot. Watch all these hearings. watch all these congressional hearings.
How about Kamala Harris, right? Apparently she doesn't talk to reporters, but I think that strategically that for her, what she's trying to do to become president is a smart thing to do, because avoiding that possibility of creating yourself a flip-flop because you don't remember what you had said previous to it.
Exactly. Probably. It's probably her new campaign manager has probably told her not to speak to the press because she doesn't know how to speak to the press.
Let's just fucking talk about the policies when you're in front of the television and you got, or in front of people and you got teleprompters.
I think it's the reason why they're afraid right now of her debating is for the fact because unless she,
how nervous she gets.
Yeah, unless she has, I mean, it's just like that last time that she was in front of the cameras and actually talked to the reporters. She sat in the Tahoe for like 30 minutes going over what they assumed was going over the briefs of what she was going to talk about before she came out and sit there and talked. And then she'd sit there and was direct with their conversation and didn't answer any questions to the press.
What I'm trying to figure out is why all of a sudden the nervousness that you see, because
I don't know. It is weird.
She kicked Pence's ass in a debate once.
Well,
I was royally kicked his ass.
Well, I found one of her old clips when she was a DA in California, and she was really articulate when she spoke to the group, to the crowd, and everything else. I think what she was talking about was probably what they're talking about now, some of the bad policies that she was making for California. But I was more focused on how she was talking. She didn't cackle. She didn't, laugh like she did. I think the whole thing, I think it's another reason too. I think because she fired Biden's campaign manager or campaign team, and now Obama gave her his, so she's got Obama's campaign people right now. So I think they're the ones that told her, hey, stop with the public appearances, unless you are prepared. I mean, they're seeing that there's issues out there, because I've noticed even like when she's up on stage, she's not here the last couple of rallies. Ever since, the rumors are that they've taken over, she has not, she's like really direct, brief. She doesn't, go off script. You can tell she's not going off script. So, and I think it's a reason why they're afraid to debate, because when you go into a debate, one thing is, I think if Kai wants to do something like that, I think he should host the primary. I think he should host the debate.
Don't do it, Kai.
No, do it, Kai. I want to see it, because I think that would be entertaining, and it would be unbiased, because I don't think, like he said, he doesn't care about politics.
Don't do it. Don't listen to Rebel.
But I think Kai would be a good moderator. For the fact of the matter is, because he does not have an opinion on both.
So then what kind of questions would you fucking get? You get the same kind
the
of
moderator doesn't write the questions.
Aiden gave fucking Trump.
No, the questions aren't given by the moderator. When you moderate a debate, they're polled from the people. And
okay.
And usually they're put together prior to they're not just like, okay, how's this? What do you think about this leader? No, that's not how the debate, how the moderator works.
What Kai should do then is, I would say I could see that. Moderating Trump and Kamala in a debate. That'd be interesting, man.
Because he doesn't lean to one side or the other. He's actually a neutral party. And that's what that's what these debates need. I'm period. All through history, I think we would have got a better sense of the candidate if we would have had a neutral based moderator instead of, places like CNN or ABC or Fox or anything else like that are, they lean hard one way or the other.
Because I'm a nice dude and I love everybody. I want to say this. Okay, Kai, if you're listening, I got a better plan for you. All you need to do is get Shane Gillis on your stream.
No, you don't want to make it you don't want to make it comedic.
I'm looking out
No.
for Kai. I don't
No.
want Kai, stay out of politics.
Well, no,
Do
I think
your
he needs
thing,
to.
and then do that. And then do that as a comedy. Do that as you're interviewing Donald J. Trump, and then it's Shane Gillis's version.
No, because Shane Gillis is doing that as a
Much more popular than Aiden Ross's fucking bullshit.
No, I guarantee you, if he moderated the debate live on Twitch between Harris and Trump, I think he would blow everybody's fucking streaming numbers out of the water. I think he would blow his own record out of the water. I think there would be 1 million plus viewers on that stream. I think it would actually probably crash Twitch.
Don't give that old man any ideas.
Who?
Sky.
Oh.
That old dude that runs fucking Twitch.
No, I really do.
So what do you think of this Tim Walz, man? I want to know your opinion on it. I mean, Tim Walz has gone through a lot in his career, man. Fucking dealt with the George Floyd riots.
Dealt with? He didn't deal with them. He let them happen.
No, I mean, he dealt with them the way that he, by policy,
he let them happen
on television to deal with them.
Oh, on TV. Oh, throw some words out there, big man.
What was he supposed to do as a politician?
He's in charge of the National Guard. He could have sent National Guard out there to control the crowds.
Or you know, go on television and be like,
and sprout some words.
That'd be
yeah.
You know, watching right now, because apparently he's runs a successful podcast. So people,
Walz?
Yeah.
No, he don't.
Yeah, he did it during COVID.
Not popular now.
Well, whatever. Okay. Hey, man.
I'm just saying.
All I know about him is he looks like a principal of the school and has a nice smile.
Identity politics.
Identity politics.
Yeah. That's exactly what you just described.
What?
You like him because of the way he looks and because he looks like a principal.
Well,
and has a nice smile.
I don't know any of his policies, so I can't
say
anything other than what I see, which is the book, not the contents of it.
Yeah, and you can't always judge a book by its cover.
Sure.
Remember that.
Mean, he very well could be he could be anything, really.
Yeah.
Just like the rest of them. I don't disagree with you on that.
But I was just giving you an example. That's what everybody's going off of is identity politics. They're like, oh, he looks nice. He looks happy, you know.
Right.
You know, just like the whole thing.
That on the other side.
I mean, no, I don't think Trump don't smile much. He's always angry. I don't think identity politics has anything to do with that. You know what the word identity means, right? It means by the way you look.
Yeah. And I think you're full of shit with that statement. Considering that he fucking pops around the fucking your United States in Trump 1.
Okay, so he's able to own a plane.
Identity politics, right?
No.
Because his name is synonymous for being such a great businessman.
But not because of the plane he pops around in.
Come on.
I just agreed with you. Clean out those. Okay. Move your hair away from your ears so you can listen.
At the same time, though, like you're commenting on something that I said because I don't know this dude.
No, I'm not. I don't do identity politics.
JD Vance looks pretty good, Rebel. You know why I think he looks pretty good? Because sometimes he looks like he's got guy liner on, and I respect the dude that wears guy liner.
Okay. But that's what I'm saying. I'm not don't take it personally. I'm just trying to explain to you what identity politics is, and that's what a lot of people are going for. People are using identity politics in political races nowadays.
Human. I was just looking at a human and
though
what I was looking at.
But why would you vote just because they look like a good guy?
I wouldn't vote I would
This is what I'm
see
talking
him
about. No,
with
no,
his
no, 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 no,
smile
no.
And probably be more inclined.
I'm
to
talking
listen
about as
to
a
what he had
voter.
to
I'm
say.
talking about as a voter, not your personal
okay.
preference.
As I said, when I see a dude like that, right? Because he's got a nice smile and he looks like a principal, I'm going to be more inclined to listen to the contents of that person.
But you haven't yet, so you're basically you vote for him because of what he looks like.
But I'm not. No, like you said that if I was voting for him.
Yeah. Okay.
Then,
Say.
if I'm voting for him, and I see that he's got a nice smile and approaches my door and tell me that this is my policies and all that, I would be more inclined to listen to a dude that's got a nice smile and a nice presentation, like a principal, than a dude that's gonna like say the same shit all the time.
I mean, I can't really put you in that because you don't vote as an American and you don't know what goes on down here without, no offense, because you don't live here. So you just know by what goes on in the media and what everybody tells you. But like I said,
right, because we up here, when we go through elections, we don't have canvassers.
Yeah, no, you guys have awesome elections. I wish we had elections like yours.
People are coming right from different factions of the MLAs, like NDP, and they're like telling us their propaganda and fucking handing us propaganda pamphlets, right?
Dude, I wish we had your politics.
Propaganda. Hopefully, they could put.
He's not listening. His hair's in the way again.
Hopefully, they can put a propaganda sign on my fucking lawn. Like, I know what you're talking about.
I wish we had your politics here. I think your politics would work a lot better here than what our politics work.
And you need, I mean, if you guys want the same thing that we have, apparently all you need to do is vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, and then you apparently will get a socialist country.
Oh, coming from Gunn. Out of anybody that would have never, you didn't up. Clip it.
Clip what? Clip what?
I'm clipping that, man.
Clip what? You guys once fucking wouldn't even consider Bernie Sanders because he seemed like he was a socialist.
I don't want them. I mean, personally, I don't want Trump either, but I would rather. But that's the only candidate we have right now.
I think that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are probably going to win the election. But you guys are going to go through.
There's a good possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, they're climbing together in the polls. So I mean, Trump's up, or has been up one on them the whole thing. So we'll see. But the polls don't mean nothing. It all comes down to the delegates or the electoral college. Just need the 270 to win.
Yep.
And if they do win, I mean, nothing we can do about
for
it.
The next, how many more months is it? Like what? 3 more months?
November, yeah.
Yeah, 4 more months, 3 more months. I think
3 months from today.
Going to see Kamala Harris and Tim Walz walk all over the United States joyfully, as they said that they were going to do at that rally.
And then, you possibly will see a dictatorship come into play then.
Dictatorship, my lord.
Why couldn't the other side? Why couldn't the other side? Why couldn't the other side be that way?
Why would you think
if you don't know none of their politics and you're going off identity politics, how do you not know that they won't be that way?
Does Kamala Harris want women to have rights and be able to decide?
That's not the question I asked.
Oh, well, I'm asking you her policies.
Because
you keep on commenting about what all the flip-flops she does, but you've never actually said any of the policies that she's actually said.
Yeah, I just told you.
Why don't we look up a clip?
Because she doesn't have any.
What do you mean? Like, does she not have a website that you can go to see the policies that they're
If you can find the policies on that website, go right ahead, because nobody else is able to.
Well, let's bring it up then.
Bring it up. I forgot. You can't. Your Canadian Google don't work tonight.
No, I don't got a keyboard. So
yeah, your Canadian Google. No, that's one thing it is that there's no policies written on her website. That's the reason why everybody's freaked out. Is like, what are her policies? What is she standing for? Other than what she's been, there's only like 3 things that they've come up with in the last 2 days.
What is Kamala Harris's policies that she's running on? Immigration. Harris took several progressive stances on immigration when she saw the no, that's not what I want. Well, it's the only way I can fucking do it, sir. But I'm willing to do it because, like, I want to know her policies and I want to know which ones she's flip-flopped on. But I also believe that, like, we're all within reason of changing our mind over fucking the majority winning a decision on something.
There you go. There's a policy.
And then realizing the consequences that occurred from it. Because I'm a critical thinker.
There's a policy for you. That's on KamalaHarris.info. She's for arresting all the people.
Oh my lord, that
was Kamala Harris's website.
This is her website.
Store, donate, frequent ask questions, work with us, privacy rights. She doesn't have anything listed on there.
And she doesn't have anything there.
Meet Kamala Harris. Meet Tim Walz. Take action. Store, donate.
Well, that's dumb on their whoever's running it, their website. They should be doing like what her policies are.
She's basically running on. I mean, the ones that she hasn't mentioned is the ones that are basically Biden's policies. Like keeping Medicare down and all that stuff. Those are the only ones, but those aren't her policies. Those are Biden's policies.
Okay, keep on going. Does it have like, keep on going. See, like if that's all it says about her. It's just her family and her life. What the fuck are you guys thinking?
Who's we?
Well, whoever her PR people that created this.
Because she doesn't have anything to put on it. There's no policies. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That was the whole big thing. It's not that I don't like Kamala. It's not that I don't like Walz. I mean, I really don't like Walz because some of the things that I found out about him was just kind of weird.
She's got a broad sense of policies, though. You know that she wants Roe versus Wade back, right? She has said that she wants to codify it. You know that she wants the middle class to make more money. You know that she wants to create jobs through what everybody's afraid of with the green
Holy
deal
shit.
thing.
$70 for a fucking sweater with a picture with her.
Chat, I would love it if somebody would go to this website and gift Rebel Kamala Harris fucking memorabilia.
And I'd burn it live on stream.
That would be your right, I guess.
Yep.
But like the people,
I don't have any Trump stuff, so why would I need his? Why would I want her stuff? I don't want either one of them. I don't want none of their stuff.
Oh, okay. Well,
why would I want Trump? Why do you think I'm not either way? I mean, I'll probably vote this year, but I'm not because I'm registered as an independent anyway. So
you're gonna be, was it J?
No, it just means I'm an independent, and we're able to vote however we want to vote. Just because you're registered one way doesn't mean you have to vote that way. It just means I don't pick one. I don't do the whole left side, right side thing. Never have. Yeah, there's nothing on there.
What are Kamala Harris's policies for the presidential race? Over the years, what she's done for the country, what she do for California. I don't want to know that. I want to know what she's standing for now.
Good luck. We all want to know. What we're trying to say. We all want to know. If we knew, it'd be a different story, but we don't know. The only thing that she's been doing is the same thing that she's been doing the whole thing, is abortion, healthcare, immigration, and environment. That's what she was in charge of when she was BP. It's like here with the environment. Initially a proponent of the Green New Deal and fracking ban, Harris has moderated her stance in line with Biden's administration approach. The Inflation Reduction Act, which gave her support of $3.7 billion in combating climate change, but you know what? That Inflation Reduction Act didn't help much. It says now, this is what I'm talking about. So initially a proponent of the Green New Deal and a fracking ban. Okay, that's a statement. Harris's campaign indicates she would no longer seek to ban fracking. That's a flip-flop.
Well, what?
Harrison has consolidated support from major unions, emphasizing pro-union agenda similar to Biden. She aims to leverage support and mobilize voters in the key battleground states. Her campaign focuses on strength of workers' protection and making them easier to form and join unions. So she's pro-union.
Yeah, but okay, you're saying that she flip-flopped, right? Up there.
No.
Yeah, you said with the fracking thing that she flip-flopped. But it says in that statement that it was a moderated stance. In other words, she didn't really probably know very much about it. And then when the Biden team or whatever explained it to her,
no,
she was like, yeah, of
it
course,
says
yeah,
initially a proponent of Green New Deal and a fracking ban. Harris has moderated her stance, aligning with the Biden administration's approach. That means she decided to go full on with what Biden was going to do. The initial Inflation Reduction Act, which she supports, invested $375 billion in combating climate change through incentives and clean technology. Harris' campaign indicates that she would no longer seek to ban fracking. Oh my Lord.
When it says moderated, what do you think that means?
I don't know. I'll Google wise one. Tell us.
It says become less extreme. To make less extreme. So obviously, yes, she had a policy or a belief that because of the Green New Deal and the way that it was operating at the time, that it stated that there was going to be a ban on fracking. Then the administration that was running at the time was like, no, this is what we're planning on doing.
Well, that's fine.
Explained it to her and was like, and then of course she's going to change her decision. That's critical thinking. Oh my Lord.
Gotcha.
One
for gun.
That's not flip-flop, though. That's critical thinking. How does it become a flip-flop?
It doesn't, sir. We're done with the flip-flop thing.
The flip-flop would occur if she got into power after saying this and then banned fracking.
Who's to say she won't? We don't know her policies. That's what I'm saying. We don't know what she's going to do. She's semi-sort of flip-flopped. Does that sound better?
Sure, but like all I'm trying to prove is that like Trump does it just as much as
I didn't disagree with you.
Yeah,
Chad, did I ever disagree with him on that? I actually admitted, yes, Trump flip-flops, as all politicians do. But what I'm saying is the matter of the fact that usually they wait till after they've been into whatever seat they want to get into before they start flip-flopping, not before they get into trying to get elected.
Can we look up what Trump's current policies are? To be fair. To be fair. Because I don't know his policies either.
So how can you argue on them?
Well, I'm arguing
because you're identity politicking.
I'm arguing on him on common knowledge and critical thinking of
identity politics.
Reading books and reading about the man, and then meeting the person on television for 5 years.
You didn't meet him. You've only seen him on TV.
I was introduced to him through television. So
economic policies, tariffs and trade. Trump's plan to impose extensive tariffs on trade partners, particularly targeting Chinese imports, with the aim of boosting domestic manufacturing and protecting U.S. industries. So, I mean, that's what he did before when he was office. He brought businesses and everything else back into the United States, which was a good thing for the United States because we brought jobs back to the United States. Tax cuts. He proposed to extend the Tax Cut and Job Act, which is set to expire in 2025, and introduces tax exemption on tips, which is a good thing for those people that rely on tips. Energy. Trump intends to increase the production of oil, natural gas, and coal, and imposes Biden initiatives on electric vehicles and renewable energy. Which, I mean, that'll bring our gas prices down, our natural gas and our crude oil down. Because right now, a lot of homes run on natural gas down here too. So it's just like our gas bill in the winter is like $100 to $200 for this house.
So then why doesn't Trump regulate the people that the companies that run the manufacturers of these plants that produce the oil and stuff like that? Why doesn't he impose that?
How would he do that? I'm asking an honest question.
He's the president, right? So an executive order that from now on all fucking oil companies and natural gas companies have to regulate their. Well, how do they do
regulate
it with
what?
They regulate it with the banks. So
yeah,
why can't,
that's what I'm saying. I'm not arguing with you. I'm trying to get your honest to God opinion. So quit taking an offense.
So, like they regulate things with banks. So why can't we do the same thing that we do with banks to all these large corporations, such as oil companies, pharmacare? Well, I mean, in your country, that would be a good idea. My country kind of.
I mean, we tax them.
Does that? We already.
I mean, how much more are we going to regulate? I mean, we already tax them out the ass, but then we end up paying the tax because they pass because what happens if you regulate these companies? And this is just business 101. If you regulate a company to do something, the cost always gets passed on because they're going to have to make up for the profits that they're losing out on, right? So they're going to have to, some way or another, they're going to find a way around it, like our city does. Our city finds it because our waters and stuff like that are regulated, but they find their way around it because now we're paying higher for sewer and higher for trash pickup.
Right. Hold on a minute. Does Canada regulate their banks for mortgage rates?
I mean, we regulate our mortgage rates. And that's what the reason why the stock market crashed right now, because the interest rate went down. Or went down. The Federal Reserve is the one that
Canada regulate banks.
The Federal Reserve is the one that takes care of the banks. Or not Federal Reserve, is it the Federal Reserve? That's the reason why he's wanting to get rid of the Federal Reserve, so we could take the regulations off the banks so we don't get charged out the ass on bank fees. Because we get passed on the loss of profit when you regulate something like that.
We have a thing called the FCAC, the Financial Consumer Agency of Canada, plays a leadership role in protecting financial consumers and advancing their rights and interests by working in partnership with the federal, provincial, territorial, and international departments and agencies in collaboration with domestic and international stakeholders. And it goes on, but
yeah, we have one of those too.
Oh, wait, here we go. The Financial Consumer Agency of Canada, which would be considered one of fucking Justin Trudeau's being a dictator, I guess. But this has been in the process for even before he was prime minister. It's called the Financial Consumer Agency of Canada, and it's a federal government agency mandated to protect financial consumers. It is an independent regulator that supervises banks and other federal financial entities to ensure that they comply with their legal obligations, codes of conduct, and public commitments. Recently, Canada won a lawsuit
ours
against
is the FTC.
TD Toronto Dominion Bank, which ended up giving a lot of people that like have money in TD money back in their bank accounts.
Yeah, ours is exactly ours is like that. Ours is called the FTC, though, Federal Trade Commission.
So then, why don't they?
I mean, they're regulated to a point.
Why don't they regulate them to the point where there's like a mortgage rate cap or a
profit cap?
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be a good thing. I mean, I think all of them should be on a profit cap.
Yeah, but then that would be a one government.
Bingo. It would turn into a socialist. Social domestic policies. While Trump is taking credit for the Supreme Court decision of Roe versus Wade, he stated that he would leave abortion laws to the states rather than pursuing a federal ban. Transgender rights, supporting banning transgender women from participating in women's sports, as proposed by legislation recognize only binary genders. Education, he advocates for the patriotic education and decentralizing the Department of Education. Foreign policy, military. Trump emphasizes strengths in the military and ensuring allies meet their defense obligations. He also supported unwavering backing for Israel and proposed for reassessment of NATO's role.
Yeah, Justin Trudeau recently has a like we're getting apparently we're paying our fair share finally in that whole scenario, so that if Trump gets in power, I'm sure so that he has nothing to fucking say about Canada not paying their fair share.
Trump claims that he resolved the Ukraine. He says that every time something happens. Crime and security. Trump supports deploying the National Guard to combat urban violence, implementing a strict law enforcement. And that's one thing he talked about the other day, is that, the governors are the ones that are in charge of that. That's one of the big criticisms right now with Walz, is for the fact of the matter, during the George Floyd riots, as bad as they got, he should have deployed the National Guard to help control, because that's what the National Guard does. It protects the state, the people of the state. He should have deployed the National Guard to help secure the scenes and everything else. Just like, okay, so this is a big thing, because it's kind of crazy, because I didn't even know this till this morning. Or yesterday morning. I was doing a lot of research on this stuff. What we're seeing right now actually happened in 1968. Everything we're seeing with the Democratic side of things happened in 1968. It happened with Humphrey, because LBJ in March of 1968 decided he wasn't going to run for re-election. He was the chosen candidate by the DNC in 1968 to run against Nixon. Or run against the Republican Party. They didn't know it was going to be Nixon at that point in time, but so he was chosen to be the party to run against the Republican Party by the DNC. That they already had that put into play. Well, when he came out in March of 1968 and sat there and said, "I'm not going to run no more," they scrambled. They had to scramble. They had to find a new candidate. They only had two. They had McCarthy and they had Humphrey. Was it McCarthy? What was the other one? Is it McCarthy? Because Humphrey was LBJ's vice president. Can't remember right off the bat who. I think it was. I know McCarthy had something to do with it, but I think.
Can we find out who's leading in the presidential race between Kamala and Trump right now?
Right now it's 51 to 48.
Is that what it says?
That's what it said before we went live.
Sir, it's 9 o'clock. I'll give it another half hour, but I gotta, I'm an old man that works at 4 a.m. So
well, at least you finally admit you're an old man.
I've always admitted that I'm an old man. I know my age, man. It's 50. I feel it every morning and every night when I go to bed.
Well, I'm 52, but I don't feel that bad. So, Edward Muskie, 1968 President Humphrey, Democrat, no, you rant. No, that's But anyways, I can't remember who was his contender, but basically there was two contenders. There was Humphrey, and then there was another one, kind of like RFK type thing. So the DNC scrambled and everything else, and they went ahead without a primary, just like Kamala did. That we didn't have a primary. We didn't get to. Nobody got to vote for. They didn't get to vote for the candidate for the DNC. They just automatically put her in play. This is exactly what they did. It's only happened one other time in U.S. history, and it was in 1968 with Humphrey. They didn't get a chance, even though they had plenty of time.
Who ran the 1968 United States election?
What do you mean, who ran it?
I don't know. Who was running is what
I just told you. Humphrey and Nixon. Humphrey was a Democrat, Nixon was a Republican.
And you think that that's going to happen again?
It did happen. It already did happen.
Oh, it did?
Well, Kamala was just thrown in there. There was no primary for Kamala. They didn't allow no other candidate to be heard to try to get their voice in the door to become a DNC candidate. There was no public primaries for the Democratic side. None. Because Biden had already come in as an uncontested candidate. So the DNC was automatically going to take on Biden because there was nobody contesting him because he was the incumbent. Just like LBJ was the incumbent. Nobody came in to contest him. I think there was one other guy in there, but they didn't even hold a primary. They had plenty of time to hold primaries because LBJ bounced out in March. Understandable, Biden bounced out just a few weeks ago, but the fact of the matter is this is a repeat of 1968. They threw him in there and everything else, and they dump all the money because, how is that, so-called a democratic way of doing things? When it's only happened one other time in history, that means we've done a pretty good job about allowing the Democrats to, granted, nobody's like bounced out. I mean, LBJ was the first one that just bounced out at the last moment. And then Biden really bounced out at the last moment. But the whole thing is it's not like trying to be a conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but it's just, if you look at it from an outside view, which I am outside because I'm not like fully invested in, I don't know all sides of politics. I'm looking at this as an outsider, just like you are. And the way I see it is it's like, to me, it seems like this was pre-planned, that this is the reason why they let Biden go so long, because I think they're playing off the 1968 ticket. I think whoever done this, I think they were going back and looking at 1968. It's like, okay, well, if we dump him in March like they were going to, then we have a chance for all these people to come in. But if we don't dump him, if we hold on to him until it's too late to have a primary, then we can put Kamala in there and we can dump all this money onto Kamala to get her in there as, I don't want to say it, but more of a puppet candidate.
Whether she's a puppet candidate or not, do you think she's a better candidate than Hillary Clinton? Or
no,
Michelle
I don't think
Obama?
So. I think Hillary would be better than Michelle Obama. At least Hillary has. You
don't think that Michelle Obama would destroy and cook Trump?
I'm not talking about destroying and cooking. I'm talking about who's going to run this country.
Right. But
she can't run the country as well. She's never been in politics other than just with her husband. She's never done politics. So how would she even be close to being a good candidate?
How can you say that, but then can say that Trump didn't know politics either?
She's never done anything. All she's done is just, she's never done anything out in the open. Nothing. Nobody even heard of them until they started running for president. I mean, she might have a lot of philanthropy things going on, you know, because Obama was a high-powered person supposedly in Illinois, but you know, like I said, it was just kind of funny when he came out. It was just like, boom, he's here. Just like everybody was asking, it's like, where the hell did this dude come from?
What did Michelle Obama do before her husband becoming president?
She might have been an attorney. I'm not sure, because I know he was an attorney.
She worked at a law firm. She was raised on the south side of Chicago. Obama
she was probably a paralegal.
She was a graduate of Princeton University and Harvard Law School. In her early legal career, she worked at a law firm, Sydney, Austin, where she met her future husband, Obama. She subsequently worked in nonprofits and as the Associate Dean of Student Services at the University of Chicago.
Okay. So she's never been in politics.
Would not running a school be politics?
Not. That's a different kind of politics.
No, it's not.
There's no foreign policy in schools. You don't have to deal with foreign entities. When do you have to talk to the leaders of countries when you're a dean of a school?
Okay, but
a dean of studies. I mean, she wasn't even a dean.
Still there. The scenarios are still there.
She don't have the experience. It'd be just like Vivek. I don't think he would be a good president right now, anyways, because he doesn't have the experience. Now, if he had some foreign experience, dealing with foreign leaders and stuff like that, then I'd have a different take on Vivek. But right now, he doesn't have the experience. Does he have the drive? Yes, I believe he has the drive.
Trump's qualification is him having hookers in Russia. And meeting Putin because of it.
He's got diplomatic connections, yes, but he's also got foreign policies because he works with them through his business dealings. He's made relationships with these, which is good. You have good relationships.
So the foreign policies is fucking paper money,
dude. If you have a good relationship with these leaders of these other countries, it makes things work out better. If you have shitty relationships,
stop the war in Ukraine on the first day that he gets elected.
No.
Do you think that he could do it prior to his election?
No.
So then, why is it acceptable for him to tout that on national media all the time? But then, why doesn't
it's no different than you providing your opinions about things about him?
And anybody question the fallacies in that scenario instead of dawning.
Well, apparently the other side don't care. Apparently the other side don't care about it too much either because they haven't questioned it.
Say that again. The other side didn't question it.
Democrats haven't questioned his ability to stop it. They haven't said, other than criticizing him for saying it. But they haven't given any reason why he wouldn't be able to do it.
Can you give a reason how he would be able to do it?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Why do you think that of me? That's just kind of rude.
How? No, I'm just asking a question. Like, if you thought of a scenario where Trump could be like,
I think Trump's connections, man. I think Trump's connections. Well, I mean, it is kind of funny though that he mentioned that, and Putin goes, "Well, I'll be, willing to sit down and discuss it." He never said that with Biden because Biden never came up. Well, let's talk about this. He never said that. Biden just started a war.
Right. When did? I'm just curious of when people forgot that that things cost things, right? So if he were to go into that country and be like, "Hey, Putin, you need to get out of the Ukraine," and then Putin says, "Well," and Putin says, "Well, what are you going to give me?"
Oh, kind of like what
Biden
Biden just
deal with him, right?
Kind of like Biden just did.
But the problem with the deal is that it has a bad effect on a mass group of people.
Agree. I'm not going to say there's not going to be any effect. It's just like when we withdrew from Afghanistan too quickly. We lost 13 soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
13 lives died because Biden pulled them out too quick. Yeah, there's going to be catastrophic, but we don't need to keep supplying. We don't need to keep supplying the machine over there. There could be other diplomatic ways around of creating something. When we give money, we're supplying the machine. We're not helping those people. We're helping them get weapons so they can blow each other up. That money's not going to foreign aid. That's going to buy weapons.
Right. It's going to supply the military that's in the Ukraine right now trying to fight and return the annexed parts of their country that have already been annexed.
But how is that helping the destroyed economy of Ukraine by us just sending weapons and money to buy more weapons? Why aren't we using some of that money to pump into the economy to try to keep that economy alive? Why they've got a conflict going?
Well, I'm imagining that the money that they received recently is probably not just supplying for weapons.
It's not money. I mean, that's just a cost. That's just a price number. It's not all money
but
they're sending.
They're
sending
like
F-16s
clauses in there for like humanitarian aids and everything else like that.
Oh yeah, the donating part, all the people that are collecting donations, then personally and privately collecting donations are going over there. The government's not helping them. You have the humanitarian aid that's going over there, but they're not getting the federal funding you think they're getting. That money, the cash money, is going in Zelensky's pocket so he can keep his military alive, as we still send him the assets, which are, the rest of the money goes in the assets, which is the fighter jets and everything else that we're sending over there, on top of the bombs and everything else we're sending over there.
Well, let's put it this way, okay? We're North America, okay? Right? We're North America all together. Canada and the United States put together is North America, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what if Canada decided that Minnesota, Wyoming, and all these other states were actually fucking Canucks? They sound like fucking Canucks. They're Canucks. And our prime minister walked into your country with our military, and we annexed those fucking states to be part of Canada. And you guys didn't have the military like you have, and required aid from NATO and the UN to free all those enslaved Americans that are not Canucks. They're Minnesotans, Wyomings.
Well, if you annexed Wyoming, you'd get a lot of cattlemen that would...
You're getting past the point. You get what my point is. Right?
I mean, if we were military desolate, yeah, it would be probably the same thing.
Right.
But
So is not Ukraine military desolate? Because Russia walked in and fucking destroyed their military, or almost close to it. Because I clearly remember a bombing on an airfield that we saw. Where
that's fine. You can have all the passion you want for that. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm saying what Russia and Ukraine did is between Russia and Ukraine.
It's not, though, because we are in a fucking a collaboration with 18 other fucking countries.
I know. I understand that.
That monitor all the other countries.
But the only reason why, okay, so if we were not part of NATO, if we were not part of the UN, do you think we'd be spending money over there?
I would fucking hope that your country would see what's going on and be
why? Okay, so why aren't these other countries? Why aren't these other countries that are surrounding them helping? I mean, I'm sure there's probably a couple of them over there.
How many countries have given money to the Ukraine?
I think it's just the UK, us, and...
As of February 2023, military aid was donated by EU institutions, 45 sovereign countries, companies, and other parties. The United States alone has pledged about $45 billion in arms and military aid to the Ukraine since Russia full-scale invasion. Military aid, by the way, doesn't just mean ammunition and fucking bullets. What it also means is medics,
Keep believing that.
fucking doctors, nurses, fucking paramedics, all that shit to be able to fucking help the civilians that are being affected in that area.
That's fine and dandy, but what I'm saying though, if we were not part of that EU, and we were not part of the NATO and the UN, because we're held by a regulatory commission to do that, to help these other countries, do you think, even if Canada was, do you think...
How many countries that are not part of NATO have given money to the
Ukraine?
UN?
Not NATO, the UN.
How many countries that are not part of the UN have given money to the Ukraine?
How much did you say that we gave? Because according to this, we've given $113 billion to the Ukraine.
It's at 65 billion, I believe.
113.
But that was in 2023. That was the last one that they gave.
Yeah, that was the last chunk of money.
Right. How much has the United States given to the Ukraine for the war that's going on?
Says the total amount covered by Congress for the Ukraine related to assistance has reached around $175 billion.
And I'm reading something here that says, to date, we have provided approximately $55.3 billion in military assistance since Russia launched its premeditated, unprovoked, and brutal full-scale invasion of Ukraine on February 24th, 2023, and approximately $58.1 billion in military assistance since Russia's initial invasion of Ukraine in 2014.
This news article came out.
May
10th of 2024.
It's important to note that of the $175 billion total, only $107 billion directly aids the government of the Ukraine. Most of the remainder is funding various U.S. activities associated with the war in Ukraine, and a small portion supports other affected countries in the region.
Well, yeah. Out of 175 billion, we've dumped 60 billion into the other countries.
Yeah, but that explains...
It's still a lot of money in military assistance.
How much money has Canada sent?
I don't know why we have to relive this every time. This is like a Groundhog Day every time.
How much money has Canada spent on Ukraine's war effort? I don't know if that's what you call it. See, we committed $12.4 billion in financial assistance. What is the total of support that we've been given to Ukraine since 2024 in Canada?
Says military assistance Canada has committed approximately $4.5 billion in military aid, which includes both lethal and non-lethal support. Economic and humanitarian, Canadians have provided $352 million, committed $442 million development assistance and support. So actually, you guys are doing more when it comes to the humanitarian part of it than we are.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that like that 107 billion is exactly what I was talking about. That is the portion of the humanitarian that you guys are giving. It provide like all those
60
like
billion.
all those U.S. things that are going on in Ukraine right now. We know are probably military services, which require
Out of that 60
medics,
billion, yeah. I mean, that's great
right?
because I think we need
So
to pay that because we're the ones supplying all the weapons. You know, that's the whole thing that Zelensky was pissed off about when he was worried about this whole thing with Biden dropping out was the fact is who was going to keep funding him. He mentioned that. It's the reason why he came over here and pled to Congress.
well, they got F-16s now.
Oh, I know. And then Tom, yeah.
Well,
And
they
they're supposed to be
gotta get
getting
trained with
they're
it.
supposed to be getting F-35s here before too long. The reason why they got F-16s is because that's all we could give them right now. But we're producing F-35s for them.
Oh man, no problems. Anybody that responded to my tweet saying, "Hey, like if you want to come and join and everything else like that, just DM us and all that." I appreciate your responses. Sir, I'm going to bed. I got fucking work in the morning.
Yeah, I know.
I haven't eaten anything since I got home. I got pizza waiting for me that I want to munch on and spend time with my wife and stuff like that.
Okay.
Do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fine.
Probably play some Call of Duty and figure out. Yeah, man. Tomorrow.
I'm going to bed. I'm an old man, but I'm
No.
going to play some Call of Duty.
No, I'm not playing Call of Duty tonight. No, I'm going to
Oh.
bed, man.
Oh.
I'm done. I'm done. I had a long day today, man.
Yeah, I can tell. You're a little bit more agitated than normal.
I'm not agitated at all.
Oh, yeah, you were screaming and yelling pretty good there for a while.
No,
You were sounding like a
talk
true lefty.
Loud.
No, you were. You were
I don't scream.
I think your wife would probably.
I think that my voice goes to a lower tone so that you can hear what I'm saying. Because
Oh, I can hear you fine. I've got it. It balances out your audio on my end, so you can scream as loud as you want.
oh, scream! You haven't heard me scream yet, sir. And you got to remember, I was part of the military, so
I think those 19 people watching will probably say different.
Anybody think that I went off the rails?
I'm not saying off the
with any of
rails.
my comments?
No, I didn't say off the rails. Quit putting words in my mouth. I
Responses?
was talking
my
about I was talking
responses?
about the agitation level you had. It was more than what normal. But
You gotta stop trying to roast somebody sometimes.
it's fun roasting you. I'm not really roasting you. I'm just trying to understand. It's just the way I talk. I piss a lot of people off that way.
Same time, you have to enjoy the roast that you get back.
Oh, does it look? Do I raise my voice? I didn't raise my voice tonight. You can roast me all you want.
You don't have to raise a voice to get roasted. There's other ways of roasting somebody and showing the same thing that you think I do with.
But see, that would be that
apparently
means
raise
I
my
really.
voice.
But that means I really care if you roast me. I would, and actually, to make the roast happen, you really have to care that you're being roasted, and I really don't care.
True. Yeah. No, I don't give a shit either. Anyway, I gotta go, man.
Sure. All right.
Have a great night, man.
Laters. So, ladies and gentlemen, another episode of it. I was going to get through with this tonight. It was the whole fact of the matter with the Cori Bush, about her getting pushed out. That's one thing I was going to talk about. The main topic of the whole thing, before we got off the rails on everything else, was the fact about how money moves politics. You know, the whole fact of the matter is that, you know, the money that you see through these PACs and through all these lobbyists and everything. I think the only way we're actually going to get into a true and honest election again is if we get rid of the lobbyists and we get rid of the PACs. I'm totally for that, because of the fact of the matter, it's just like with Cori Bush. You know, she lost her seat in the Missouri Senate or the Missouri House, because of the AIPAC. You know, the AIPAC is totally Israel Israel backed, Israel funded, and they even made comments to the fact of the matter that they were going to use, they had like $100 million that they were going to use in campaign funds to campaign for the removal of all these anti-Israel Congress people in the House and the Senate. You know, they came out and said that, which is kind of crazy, but, you know, I guess that's the objective of the PAC. I mean, when you look at the PACs, to where it comes to, you know, the whole Biden-Harris campaign, you know, PAC money funded that as well. Oh yeah, and a lot of PAC money funded the Trump campaign, as do most PACs do. But the whole thing is like, you know, yeah, I mean, the whole thing is that they've literally vowed to take all the available resources they possibly have to oust everybody. It says AIPAC millions take down second squad member Cori Bush. Get that out of there. Don't do that. No. Can I not exit out of that? Oh, wow. Well, let me exit out of that. Subscribe for me. It's not a paywall. Joining is free. You know, I don't want to join. Here, we can read this above it. No, find paywall. Not really a paywall, but let's see if I can find something else. That's the same one. This is the same one. This will work. This will work. So as you know, Cori Bush lost to Wesley Bell yesterday. He was an attorney, and he's, you know, the AIPAC put a lot of money behind him to push their the candidate forward, and that's what these PAC members do. Like I said, they diversify their money. That's where the run for these seats and everything else. I mean, yes, our vote counts to a point, but when you've got these high influential money machines that are behind these candidates that they want to put in, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. They're gonna pay people off. It's a given. I mean, you're seeing that right now, like within what is that one site, the Act Blue? You're seeing that with them. You know, there's a lot of what they're classifying as smurfing accounts, to where fake accounts that they're taking people's names and donating thousands and thousands of time under these people's names. So, but the big question is like, okay, so where is this money coming from? A lot of people don't know where this money's coming from. And the fact of the matter is that, you know, I always sit there and say, when you're looking for corruption, always follow the money, you know, just like everybody else does. But the fact of the matter is, you know, AIPAC got Cori out. You know, now the media is sitting there saying, it's like, okay, are they going to go after Omar now? You know, considering, I don't know. I think they're getting rid of this so-called squad that they're trying to get through. But like I said, according to New York Times, AIPAC Super PAC dropped more than $8 million to defeat Bush, who was among the squad members calling for the U.S. to halt funding to Israel after it launched retaliatory airstrikes on Gaza. Airstrikes have now killed more than 39,000 people. Bowman also accused Israel of committing apartheid or genocide in support of the ceasefire in the conflict in June. So, see, I mean, I don't know. I'm still learning a lot when it comes to like the whole Israel and Iran conflict and everything else. But, you know, that's one thing that's kind of gotten me, you know, kind of, I don't know, I'm kind of confused right now because, you know, we were supposed to know something more. You know, this whole big war was supposed to break out with Iran and Israel, but I don't think there's anything that has started yet. I think they fired a few rockets, but just like somebody else said, it's just like the Hezbollah has been doing that for, you know, been doing that for years. So it's just like that's something that's not uncommon for Hezbollah and or Hamas. I mean, not Hezbollah, Hamas to do. So when you hear an attack from Hamas, it's kind of like, I don't know. We've kind of like, okay, it's attack from Hamas, bad thing. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I'm still learning about the whole Israel-Iran conflict. I know Iran kind of scares me for the fact that we've been out of the nuclear deal for so long. And the fact of the matter that we've never, reinstated or even tried to get it back on order. So we don't know exactly how many nukes or if they have nukes. We don't know how many. We don't know what their nuclear power stockpile is. For one, like I said the other night, is because we haven't been able to go in there and investigate because they won't allow inspectors in there like they were supposed to. And I don't know. That's one thing that I think that whoever is running for president right now, that's the reason why I get so irritated by listening to Trump, listening to everything else, is the fact of the matter is we're not paying attention to like the main points that need to be talked about. It's just like, how are we going to stop this? How are we going to stop Iran from developing nuclear weapons without going to war with them? How are we going? Because we already did that with Iraq, and that came up empty. But the fact of the matter is like, how are we going to do this? Those are the policies that me personally want to hear. I want to hear how we're going to try to somewhat make us all feel all nice and cozy when we go to bed at night, that we're not going to wake up to total freaking chaos over there to where it's going to really affect us, everything that's going on. I mean, it's already starting to affect us anyways. A lot of, I'm not saying the entire stock market collapse was to do with that, but that has a lot of insecurities about how people want to trade and how people want to do things in the stock market because they don't know what's going on. The election's another thing, what they were talking about, the whole yen, people dumping, because the dollar went down and the yen was losing. So people were dumping their stocks over there, which they, I believe I read that today where they halted the trading over there, that there's no more stocks being traded. I don't know if that was on stocks or if that was on Bitcoin. I know they halted Bitcoin. But legally, I think in Japan, I don't think you can even trade Bitcoin anymore. I think you can hold it, but I don't think you can trade it. So the matter of fact that all these different components are coming together, that's causing the financial infrastructures to crash. And that's what scares me. It's just like, those are the policies that I want to hear from both candidates. I don't want to hear this back and forth like, he's weird or he's disgusting or, she's this or she's that. I don't care about identity politics. And I think a lot of us need to be that way. We need to be more vigilant on getting these candidates, because these are the ones that's going to be represented as whoever gets in, and I think the people need to speak up and sit there and say, hey, we need to get these people back on track of what is right. I mean, it's 3 months away exactly, before we figure out the fate, of the next 4 years anyways. So the fact of the matter is that we got these super PACs coming in and dumping these people because they're anti-Israel. And I mean, now it's not only becoming identity politics, it's becoming more of a religious take on it. And as we all know, that should not be a place for government. It's the reason why our founding fathers didn't rely on religion when they were writing the Bill or the Constitution, was the fact of the matter is because they didn't want religion to play a part in politics. It's the reason why they wanted the separation of church and state. And this, I believe, since Israel and Iran is a holy war that has been going on for centuries. I mean, even though Israel's only been a state since 1947, when it was created by countries, it was created by us, basically. The state of Israel was. Now, the Israel we know, like in the biblical sense, yeah, that's been a debate for religious conversation for longer than any of us have ever been alive. But the whole idea of, I mean, the Israel and Iran, in my point, is it's exactly like Ukraine and Russia. Ukraine and Russia are basically battling over a land grab. Russia's pissed because it was annexed out. They won't give the land back, so they're fighting for that. Understand that. And the same thing with Israel. They want the part of Gaza and everything else. They want everything back. I understand that. But the matter of fact that, that was given, the state of Israel was given to them by a documentation. And I don't know. That's what I'm saying. That's a touchy subject because they could go both ways. But when it comes to politics, like with Cori Bush, like with Omar, I believe they do have their religious and their personal objectives involved in politics. And I don't think that should be, once you get into the power of a Senate seat, or you get in the power of a House of Representatives seat, even the president, or even your state and local governments, I don't think religion needs to be a deciding factor of who gets in there. Just for the fact, because it kind of like omits the whole thing about keeping church and state out of politics, or dividing church and state. But we'll see what happens with that. I mean, like I said, they're pushing them out. I mean, I think when is her seat up? Her seat's coming up here soon, isn't it? Let's see when her seat comes up. And that really got me was the fact it was Bush's conceding speech. That was kind of scary. I mean, she almost came off as, very threatening. So I don't know about that. We'll see what happens there. I was trying to figure out when her seat came up. When does her seat come up? Boom, boom, boom. But how are you guys doing tonight? Thanks for sticking around. I know me and Gun can get into some heated conversations, but we're still friends. We just had two different sets of opinions, which that's the reason why we like it. We get two different. That's why I call it the Perspective Podcast, because you get two sides of his side being one, not of the United States, he's a Canadian, but he lives Canadian policies. He lives, and like I said, Canadian policies are a whole different. I'm starting to learn about them a little bit more, just so I can have something to converse with him about. Her current term ends in January. So she's on the ballot for the Democratic primary scheduled August 13th. If she wins the primary, she'll then proceed to the general election. So who's against her? Incumbent. Okay, so there's quite a few that are. So Omar, Samuels, McKenzie, and Schutler are all running August 13th for the Democratic primary. District running. So I'm going to look into that and see who I think who's the pack. Let's see who Daniel Samuels is. He's running election that represents the Minnesota 5th District. He's on the ballot. Samuels is a large member of the Minnesota. Okay, so he's more of a Board of Education kind of guy. Omar defeated Samuels in Democratic Party in the 5th District in 2022, winning 50. Okay, that's what they were talking about today, winning 50 out of 48 seats, or 50% out of 48. So that's what they were talking about, is that there could be a strong shift depending if what his policies are. So the APAC could be backing him. Born in Jamaica, moved to the United States for college. He learned his bachelor's degree in industry design. Samuel spent 30 years in the toy industry, served as a city council, public school board of education. Samuel said threats to democracy, public safety, and foreign policy were the three big things of his campaign. Yeah. It depends on what, I mean, you can say that, but it depends on what your policies are. United Steelworkers and the industry ordering operating engineers endorse Samuels. Okay, so he's got the steel workers and the engineers for him, because it was in June of 2000, or June 17th is when they announced that. I'm just kind of skimming those real quick. Okay, so Omar endorsed question 2. A Minneapolis measure that would have replaced Minneapolis, with a new Department of Public Safety. So basically, Omar was wanting to get rid of the police department and put them under kind of what like Vegas has. Heading into the 24 hours, who's this other dude? Abenina McKenzie. Who's this? I want to know what she is. What is her story? Let's see what her story is. I'm sorry, I know I use Perplexity a lot, but just so I can get the key features. So you guys can always tell me what you think in the comments and stuff like that. I'm totally down to answer comments and questions. And she is a candidate running for election as a representative. Fifth current. She is participant in the Democratic primary scheduled August 13. Primary consideration of battleground feature, blah, blah, blah. Despite being on the ballot, there is limited information about her. She is not a complete candidate. Appears to have no active campaign. Social media. Wow. Primaries is expected to be closed watch. Okay, so she's probably out unless they just happen to push her in there. Let's see what Nate Schutler. See, like I said, I'm learning, so at least I'm learning. I'm not just taking what everybody says as a grain of salt, because I don't pay attention to social media other than I get into some discussions. I know people might say they're arguments, but I call them discussions. Let's see who this person is. Nate Schutler. If you guys know anything about any of these candidates too, pop on in and let me know. Nate Schutler's a candidate run blah, blah, blah. Schutler has not, district candidate race has distinctly heavy German making the primary. So who is this dude? Wants his first TV. That's not what I want. I'm going to try a new one. Maybe that'll give me some more information. I appreciate you guys hanging around with me as I learn as we go. Sometimes the best way to learn is when you learn on the fly. Okay, Schutler is affiliated with the Minnesota Democratic Farmer and Labor Party, the DFL, which is a state affiliate, and then of the National Democratic Party. The DFL is all known for its progressive platform, significant influence on Minnesota politics. Despite being a candidate, has not yet completed a connection survey, which is a tool for. So basically, these people just think they're just not. Nation surely has background in creative writing, UX copy, whatever that means, SEO. So basically, he's a computer geek, which I love computer geeks because I'm a computer geek. So yeah, he's a no name. I don't see them dumping money into him. So I would say it's going to be between Don Samuels and Omar is going to be the two running contenders. So I'm going to say probably if they want Omar out, they're probably going to have to back Samuels. Now it's another run. Continue to criticize Omar's commitment on Israel. Has criticized Omar for her commitments on Israel and voting in her voting record. While he has not received a substantial funding proposal pack in this election cycle, his campaign has been supported by a diverse range of donors. Samuel's political stance includes support for universal health care, climate policy, and reproductive rights. So the norm for the Democratic Party. Yeah, but since he criticizes Omar for her stance on Israel, then I could probably see AIPAC jumping in, and I don't know. They only have like what, 6 days left. So interesting. That'll be an interesting thing to watch, because that will go to show just how much pull and push that the AIPAC has. That's what I'm saying, though. Politics isn't politics anymore. It's about who has the bigger bank account. It basically comes down to it, because you've got these people, like I said, as a person, I don't know too much about Kamala. I don't have any beefs against Kamala. I think some of her policies and the fact of how she's got to where she's gotten with just being pushed into the limelight without ever having some hardcore policies behind her, I don't think she would be a good fit, and I wish there was other candidates, and I really do. I wish there was other candidates that could look at on the Democratic side that was going to be running against her. I mean, RFK is not even doing that good on the independent ticket, so, and I kind of see that RFK is like a push, whatever votes are going to come through. I think sooner or later he's going to dump on one candidate or the other. So we'll see. And I don't know, he might run it all the way to the end, just like, what's his name? Perot and all of them did. But Perot and Nader, they ran it all the way to the end. And then when they dropped out at the very end, they dumped their candidates onto the Republican side of things. So I remember that. I remember watching that. That's when I started kind of understanding how politics works. It's like, okay, you throw the third wheel in there and you run alongside them. And then when it gets to the point to where they're going to lose, they're like the patsy. They know they're going to lose, but they're going to keep running. They're going to keep trying to gain steam, just so when it comes time to where they can't do no more, then they dump all their candidates and petition everybody to vote for that party. Which, I think the whole two-party system is kind of crazy, but that's how we work it with a two-party system. Just like the Libertarians, you get the Libertarians running, you have the Independents running. You have, I'm sure there's probably some other little 1%ers out there running. And those 1% could be a big swing to whatever candidate they dump their candidates on when they finally get out of the race. So, we still got only 3 months in, but it's going to be a long 3 months, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a long 3 months. And I'm new to this stuff, so it's like, I can just feel it's going to be a long 3 months. But I kind of see, since this is the only viable candidate running against Omar, I can kind of see that maybe AIPAC will, dump some money into his election campaign here before too long. We'll see, and we'll probably start seeing, I would say probably, well, I don't know. You think by now they would have done it. But I guess I'm just kind of leaving it up to the voters to see who does it. So if you're in Minnesota, let me know who you lean for. It'd be kind of interesting. I don't take anybody's politics as one-sided, so I like hearing both sides of things. It's funny because now my live is on the front page of my YouTube. So maybe they're trying to tone things down a little bit. What else? There was something else I was going to talk about. Oh, long one second. What else was I going to talk about that I thought was interesting? Talked about Kai. Talked about Omar. Talked about AIPAC. Oh, the House Committee Report. Did you guys see this? This was interesting. So, yesterday, the House Committee concluded their look on the Inflation Reduction Act, is what this was. So, this isn't it. I think it was the. This is the one I was wanting to talk with Gunn, but we got kind of off track. I think this is the one they also completed. There was a lot of money. They found a lot of money being. That's not it. Where's it at? No. See, I use it for a lot of like to get my like tidbits. Nation, Tim Walz, breakdown the biggest. Where did he go? Oh my lord. One day ago. This was just today. So where did it go? Listen to this one. I swear, George. Make it a page. No, hang on, let me find it real quick. It's gotta be something. It's gotta be something. Yeah, here it is. House report. Oh, it was on that one. Okay. It was on the right one. It was on the immigration. I thought it was on the induction, but it was on the immigration. That's what happens when I get off track. Yeah, House kind of body report. Okay. So they did their infamous little Senate hearings or the House hearings. Yep, this is it. Maybe. Just trying to see where the whole report. I did do one. Where did it go? Bum, bum, bum. I hate when things disappear. Oh, something didn't go wrong. Give me that. So what happens when you run too much? I'm like a squirrel. I just thought I did this today. Maybe it was yesterday. Might have been yesterday. Yeah, that was Monday. Oh, that drives me crazy. Let's see what's in this. Should be a file. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, so they did a House report called "Terror on Our Door: How Open Border Policies Endanger National Security." So the report was started with that President Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have allowed millions of illegal aliens in the United States. Among these were individuals from terrorist organizations. And in the past 3.5 years, over 5.4 million illegal aliens have been released into the U.S., with an additional 1.9 million unknown as gotaways, people who escaped capture through the border authorities. It says on the terror watch list since January 21st, 375 illegal aliens have entered the government's terrorist watch list have been apprehended. This is a 300,000% increase compared to the 4 years ago. National Security Threat reports that the highlights that the chaotic border situation Biden administration has increased the terror threat in the U.S. The FBI Director Christopher Wray testifies that he sees blinking lights everywhere regarding national security threats. So his blinking light means like red lights. There's shit going on. Despite the DHS's Mayorkas that illegal aliens are adequately screened, the report reveals serious flaws. Some individuals on the terrorist watch list have been released into America. Mohammed Kaharwin, an Afghan immigrant on the terrorist watch list, released twice by the Biden-Harris administration, has initially released in March of 2023 and then again on March of 2024 after an immigration judge who wasn't informed of the terrorist ties granted him bond. So the dude was here. We had him in custody. And the 48-year-old Afghan national who was apprehended by U.S. Customs Report agents illegally crossing the U.S. border. Border Patrol agents suspected of Carwin might be on the terrorist watch list due to a single piece of matching information, but they lacked sufficient evidence to confirm his identity as an individual on the list. After processing, took his biometric data, released him into the U.S., and under Alternatives to Detention program, which tracks migrants via ankle monitors, mobile apps, or phone calls. However, Carwin was removed from the ATD program after only 2 weeks, leaving him unmonitored for nearly a year. So what the hell did he do in here for a year? February 2024, the FBI informed Immigrations and Customs that about Carwin's suspected ties to Hezbi Islami, a terrorist. I'm sorry, I screw these names up. A terrorist organization responsible for attacking and killing American soldiers and civilian. ICE arrested him in San Antonio, Texas, on February 2024. When he appeared before the immigration judge in March 2024, ICE prosecutors did not share classified information that linked him to HIG. As a result, the judge released him on a $12,000 bond and no restrictions on his movements within the United States. Holy shit, dude. Even though he was a suspected terrorist, had connections with the terrorist group, but still, come on. I mean, it's just like the whole Iranian thing. There's supposed to be supposedly an Iranian assassin that's still roaming the country he has been over here for a few years. I think ever since the 2020 election, because he's supposed to, because Trump ordered the drone attack and killed his son or his family or something like that, killed somebody, his son or his family. And he's still over here supposed to take revenge on everybody. And that information, didn't happen to it comes back to the whole, the Trump attempted assassination with that threat that was still out there in the open and the Secret Service knew about it. And they only secured what they secured and didn't secure all the other high points. That is terrifying. And not only that, but the fact of the matter is that their lack of information, even though we're high tech, we can get text messages in a matter of seconds from all over the world, but they can't relay this information via electronic devices saying this dude is on a terrorist watch list. Do not let him go. So out of that 300,000 or that 3,000 or that 1.9 million, that 1.9 million that got away, how many are actually just like what we used to call sleeper cells, just laying low? In what countries? Are they defectors? Are they, because most of these people they've already cut the state that are coming across the southern borders are not all like South American nationality. These are coming from like China. They're coming from, so how many of those are Chinese over here? How many of these are Iranians over here? How many of those are, Russians over here? We've already, the whole thing from the Cold War, we've already, supposed to have Russian spies, and all that are still sleeper cells. We're still supposed to have like ISIS sleeper cells over here and everything else. I don't know. Shit's just crazy. Yeah, just nuts. This goes to the whole thing about, which I don't believe the whole thing about Kamala being the border czar. I think it falls down on Mayorkas. Mayorkas is the one that's in charge of immigration. He should be the one falling on the sword or taking the hit or to being the patsy, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, he might have been into the command of Harris, but, still, he's the one that has been the most boisterous against, immigration policies and everything else when it comes down to things. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. And like I said, just when it comes to politics and everything else, I have learned, because I was like Gunn. It took me a long time to understand exactly what it meant by identity politics. It took me a long time to understand that exactly how people voted. And like I said, when I voted for the Kerry Bush. No, I haven't voted since, my bad, but I think I'm going to get back out into things as soon as I figure out what is going on. I'll cast my vote. I'm not going to lie. But in order for Trump, these are just my opinions and my objectives that I see. In order for Trump to pick up the pace in the polls, he needs to quit ragging and not derailing, but moving the conversation over to a more personal stance. Because see, that was my biggest fear, is if he did get nominated and if he did get in, was he going to take it personal? And he did it real good there in the very beginning until the attempted assassination attempt on his life. When that happened, I think it re-triggered the whole idea as like the revenge tactic. He's looking back at what happened, now what happened to him here. So I think he's got revenge politics, which is not going to look good. He's got 3 months to turn it around. I don't know. I mean, the fact of the matter that there's still, we'll see how Kamala, I mean, I don't think she's going to drop out. I think she might drop in the polls once they get going. Unless one of these super PACs get fully behind them. I don't know. I think Trump needs to, I think Trump was taking a hard stance with Israel. I think that's going to look, when you're talking about money moving politics, I think that's going to move money in his direction when it comes to that. But the fact of the matter is that, we're seeing it, the Harris campaign is paying for influencers. They're trying to get influencers on the content creation side of things, like Kai Senta. There's some other people. There's a few other ones in there that I've seen Twitter posts for that they have been contacted by the Harris campaign, and they are refusing to do anything because they don't want to get involved in that kind of politics. They don't want to get involved in politics with their communities because they know that probably their communities are divided. And if you have ever been a content creator, you understand that certain things will destroy relationships within, your community. And that they're not going to want to lose that reputation. They're not going to want to lose that momentum they've got. I mean, I'm the same way. When I first started this, it's like I was like rushed to quit talking politics because of the fact that it wasn't like proper for what I was doing. But it's just, I look at it now, it's like I don't think people understand. People don't understand the virality of what this is and the importance of understanding what is going on. I think a lot of these content creators should understand and be, not really voice their opinions, because I can understand. Like I said, I understand. You don't want to lose your viewership. You don't want to lose your community. But another thing you just have to understand is like when it comes down to it, now whether you vote one way or the other, we don't need to know that. But at least get out and vote. That's all I'm asking. It's like at least do your job and vote one way or the other, whichever way your conscience wants you to vote, not by what other people are pressuring you to vote, not by identity politics, which is being played right now. Not anything like that. Look at the policies. Look at who you think would be the best run candidate for your kids if you had them in the next 4 years. Who would be the best to create a better America for the next 4 years and a better world? Because like I said, everybody models what goes on here in other countries. We can see that now. All of our upheaval and our protesting and everything else that's going on right now. We're seeing that over in the UK. We're seeing that it's flooding into other countries. The fact of the matter is we're not holding that strong point that we used to hold. And, I'm pretty sure we'll get it back. I don't think this is going to be a self-destruction. I think it's a rough time, and people need to open their eyes and not play identity politics, not be separated through what people believe and what people want to hear. But, basically, can't we all just get along? But I think that time and date is over. Social media is playing a big part of it. money's being thrown into some of these influencers' hands. You know, we've seen that, like I said, with the Camelo rallies here lately. She's been doing free concerts. She's paying big influencers like Megan Thee Stallion and some of these other, you know, top names. She's trying to get content creators involved in the campaign now. I commend those content creators for not taking the money, you know, because I guarantee there's some good money that they've been flashing out. But we'll see who caves. She'll be on one of these channels. I'm not gonna lie, she'll be on one of these channels, and hopefully whoever does it goes in with an unbiased look and not a leaning perspective. But all right, that's it for me tonight. I'm done talking. I appreciate you guys hanging out. If you guys want to know more, just leave comments in the chat. Leave comments over on YouTube. But we'll be back on Friday. We might be back tomorrow. We'll just see what happens. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. And we'll talk to you all very, very, very soon. Like I said, keep your eyes open. Keep your nose to the ground and be good. Just pay attention to what you're doing, or pay attention to what you're watching. Don't fall into the identity politics. That's all I'm asking. Don't fall into identity politics. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
You're listening to the Rebel Nation.
Streaming to the world with two different perspectives.
Join Gunny, Rebel, and their guest on X, Rumble, and for those on the go, Station Head.
Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern.